What's going on, guys? Welcome to episode 66 of the Taste Cast, our weekly podcast where we talk about things, react to things, watch videos, do a bunch of random shit. My name's Seth.
I'm Chevy.
And I'm Chris.
And a quick reminder to play XCOM 2 and Trials Fusion, both are for free on PlayStation Plus. You can download those, play those, come back at the end of the month for Plus Club. We'll tell you what we thought of those games. Let us know what you thought of them. And our game of the month, as picked by Chris, I almost said as picked by Warframe, is Warframe. It's a free-to-play game. If you have not heard of it, it's amazing. Download it. You got nothing to lose. And it's on most things. Play it and come back to the month. We'll be talking about it as well on Game of the Month. Also, we have a Discord in the thing below. Just click it. Join us. Talk to us whenever the fuck you want. And we're also on iTunes and other podcast platforms. You can listen to us if you prefer to do that on your way to work, wherever the hell you listen to shit. And if you're listening to us, come check us out on YouTube at Tasty Loot Gaming. And you can see what we look like. We look like this. There's beards sometimes. Chris doesn't have one. Anyway, it has been a long week. E3 has been occurring, and we have streamed every single conference, which is really cool. This is our first year we've done that, and it was actually really good. I'm really happy with the way that turned out. We'll probably continue to do that every year. It's a lot easier than cutting out individual segments and doing like an episode per thing, and then all the editing. I mean, it was really nice. It was cool to have you guys, there with us, being able to talk to us as we watched it. Some of the episodes we had some audio issues with. I apologize, but at least you could hear me. But some of the episodes I saw some of them downvotes, and I was like, on the bad audio episodes, I was like, I'm sorry, person who's never coming back.
Learning experience.
Yeah. Plus, I found out that Windows has this thing where if you use OBS, I don't know when I started doing this because I've used OBS for years now, but it would lower the desktop's volume to 15%. And the whole time I was like, man, everything sounds really quiet. I thought it was something OBS did. Found out it was Windows, fixed that, and after that, the audio was fine. So, like Chevy said, learning experience. But yeah, we went through a lot of conferences, watched them all, like I said. So we got a pretty good, well-rounded view on it. And what we're going to do this whole episode, a little different than normal Taste Cast, but E3 is once a year, is go through every conference, talk about briefly what was shown, maybe catch some people up if you missed that one. Also, we watched every single one. They're all uploaded. So go check that out if you want to see our reactions to those. And then talk about our personal takeaways from them. And then we're going to grade them accordingly. And I have a feeling we may, depending on what your allegiances lie to, might lose some subs after this episode. And if we do, just know that I always loved you. And I'm going to miss you like a father figure. Good luck on your journeys.
It's okay to have different opinions.
Yeah, but if you hate us forever, like I said, you're the one that got away, and I love you. So hopefully I see you soon. Anyway, if we don't lose anyone, awesome. This is why we're a community. Yeah. So anything you guys want to say before we hop into this?
No.
Best to save it for the conversation.
I was gonna say I think it's better reserved for the moment.
So this list you made, Chevy went out of his way to make a list of the conferences and the games, and I think some more than that were shown.
Some tidbits, yeah. I did it last year too. I was a little less detailed this year just because we did do the live streams.
Yeah.
So
yeah. But you made the list, so we appreciate that. That was awesome that you did that. But are these are in order?
Yeah, because I just did it during the conferences. Every time they announced something, I typed it up. So
okay. So, all right, yeah, so let's just jump into it. So, like I said, I'm going to name off everything that's shown off, and then after that, you guys just bring up whatever out of those that kind of resonated with you, things that maybe didn't resonate with you. You're like, that was fucking stupid, and then we'll get into grading. So, the first one we watched was the EA conference. They showed off Battlefield 5. Pretty much just like some new features, and they kind of explained some things coming out for it. FIFA 19 game streaming service. I don't remember that.
They're doing their own streaming service that is in a very, very closed, very private testing phase right now, but they eventually want to stream all their titles.
Okay. So. Yeah. Origin Access Premier subscription service.
Yep. So similar to the Xbox Game Pass and PlayStation, not so much like PlayStation now, but you can pay a monthly fee and download and play games. So yeah, it's like Game Pass.
Yeah. They also discussed with what I'm assuming, in my theory, a very high Vincent Pella, discussed that Respawn will be making Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, which will be taking place during Order 66. This is episode 66. Get it? There's no joke there. Star Wars Battlefront 2, a guy came out and kind of very almost apologetically told everybody that they're still working on the game and they're trying to fix it. Fun fact, I looked up last night on the PlayStation Store what the price of it was right now. It's $17. So I almost thought about buying it because I was like, oh, I didn't want to play it, looked bad, blah, blah, blah. Played the demo, or not the demo, the beta, wasn't into it, and then heard a lot of bad shit. But I was like, maybe that all kind of, washed over. Went on the stream, first stream, this guy, as soon as I joined the stream, was talking to his friends. He's like, dude, like, we're not, like, there's no one in this fucking room. This guy's like, yeah, dude, if we get into another empty room, I'm leaving. I'm playing a different game. So I was like, ooh, and then I left. I went to the next stream, and this guy's like, just sitting there talking to like one person in the chat. He's like, so do people just like not want to play this game? Like, why is there nobody in here? And I was like, that's not good. No, that's not good. So I was like, that's not happening. Yeah, so they talked about Battlefront 2 and the future of it, or not so future of it. Unravel 2 was unraveled. The sequel to Unravel now has co-op, which was kind of cool to see. Sea of Solitude, which is an indie-developed game by a German company. That one was interesting, had a cool visual style. Madden 19, I'm sure everybody's very excited for that. Command and Conquer Rivals, which is a mobile, simplified RTS experience with missiles and shit. And then they showed off the much anticipated Anthem. What stood out to you guys on this one, and what was like shitty as fuck and you hate it?
Well, I'm not going to say that they were shitty as fuck, but I definitely did not care about them. Would be like FIFA and Madden, just the wrong demographic. I'm not into sports in general, so sports games do nothing for me. Anthem was something I was looking forward to. I'm glad we got to see as much as we got to see on it. It was a little reassuring because I know they've been having issues in the development side of that. It's also nice to see that it seems like it is going to carve its own piece out of the hub-based MMO style that like Ubisoft and Bungie have done now. I especially like the flying and the swimming aspects. Mm-hmm. And I mean, that was kind of the big one for me. I mean, Battlefield 5 was nice to see, but I'm already buying Battlefield 5. I didn't really need a push in that direction. Yeah. So. Yeah, but that was pretty much it. It was you know what actually did stand out to me is every time a dev came out to talk, they were really awkward, and every time the CEO or a corporate guy came out, they were great.
They talked to us like peons. Like, we got great things coming. You're going to love every bit of it. And even if you say you don't like it, you're going to love it and you're going to pay for it.
It's just sad because they're the people I want to hear from the least, and they're like the best at talking.
Yeah. Well, when you're at the top and you just kind of like understand everything that's going on, you can talk like that. But when you're the dev going like, I don't know if daddy's going to be angry if we release this game in a non-monetary way. You come out and you're just like, hey, we've been locked in a closet working on this game for 3 years. Tell people that we're alive and we still exist. Yeah, EA for me, I didn't really care about the services. That's not good or bad, just not really for me. I did use FIFA and Madden as times to show for the channel and gained a subscriber during that time. If you're that one subscriber, thank you for subscribing. As soon as Madden started, I'm like, okay, I'm going to take this moment to let people know that Tasty Loot Gaming exists. So I liked that. Battlefield 5, very excited for that. The biggest thing I'm excited about for that is the destruction of the buildings was fucking awesome to see the snow slide off the roof when the tank hit the building and then the rest of it collapsed was fucking dope. But I like that like tech shit. Very excited about Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order because Respawn Entertainment and Vince Zampella, as high as fuck as he was, are a super competent company, and they're going to make a dope-ass game, and I like where it's landing in the storyline, because that's a darker time, and Star Wars right now is a little too fluffy for me. Unravel 2, I don't know if I'm going to pick it up, but I'm really happy to see that has got a sequel, and I like that they're going co-op because I like co-op. Sea of Solitude also looks really neat. I want to see more on that, but it does definitely look like something that I think a lot of people need to keep their eye on. Command & Conquer can go fuck itself. Because I watched that and the whole time I was like, this better not be Command & Conquer. This better not be Command & Conquer. They're like, Command & Conquer Rivals is coming to mobile. I'm like, oh, you motherfuckers. And Anthem looks good visually. I'm hoping it is going to be good. You know, there's been a long time now where people have been talking about the production of that game has been really fucking flaky, shaky. And I'm glad that they have kind of helped me out a bit in the idea of buying it when they're saying that there's not going to be like, weird systems to get more money, essentially.
That was the theme of the conference.
Yeah. That was the theme of fucking E3 is loot boxes and all the other bullshit's gone and everything's going to be free.
Except for Devolver.
Which is crazy. Also, Almixa, if you're still alive, which I hope you are, let me know how you're doing, buddy. But also, let me know what you think about Anthem because I know me and you have talked about it quite a bit. So I'd like to know what you think about that presentation. But it got me interested again. It looks cool. I think the combat kind of reminds me of like Armored Core meets an MMO. I mean, and that's a good thing. So those are the things I really took away from it. Chris.
First and foremost, let me just say how fucking pissed off I am about Command & Conquer Rivals.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I grew up playing a lot of the Command & Conquer games, and this just, it's like a bastardization of the games. It's like, why even bother? Just fuck off and make something else.
It's like they cut the toe off the bastardization of the games, and then they offered that up to you, and you're like, that's a toe, dog.
Yeah.
Why would you
It
offer
even
me this?
looked like Command & Conquer. Like, I got like the live action like sequences that did the like Yuri. I got that like there was a reference to him, but like the rest of it, I was just like, fuck this. I stopped watching at that point. I just took a break for a second. I was like, fuck this.
Fuck this, I'm done. And then you threw your table over.
Yeah, I just flipped the whole thing. Sea of Solitude actually piqued my interest, although it's one of those games that's like, kind of like Journey minus the stranger danger, it seems like so far.
Yeah.
It's a nice story with interesting graphics, so it's kind of piqued my interest.
Although when I see games like that, and I mean this, I'm not trying to sound insulting, but as soon as I see that game, I'm like, that's a future PlayStation Plus game.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm going to play it regardless. But if I see some stuff on it, I will definitely buy it because smaller companies should get supported. So anyway,
and then the Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, because it's basically the story of what happens between episode 3 and 4. So like that dark fall of the Jedi and the rise of the Empire, which we don't get a lot of information on unless you read the books. So it'll be nice to see what they have planned for that.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting to, I'm assuming probably, because he, like I said, he seemed pretty high. He was talking about lightsabers and Jedis and stuff. So I'm assuming you're probably going to be a Jedi on the run, which I think would be a really cool premise. But it'd also be cool if you saw instances where there's other Jedi you're on the run with or you meet up with and some die and all that kind of stuff because it would add like weight to the story. I think it'd be a really cool experience to potentially go into hiding or something that, because this is going to be in canon.
Yeah, because there's a couple Jedi who survive Order 66 other than like Yoda and Obi-Wan. I think there's like, I can't give exact numbers. Huh?
Kanan is one of them. He was one of the Padawans. He's in the fucking Rebels series.
Okay.
He teaches some blue-haired kids some stupid shit about lightsaber guns.
Okay. Weird.
Yeah, I hate it.
But I know there's a couple out there who survived. So it'd be interesting to see if you can like cross over and see their stories of like where they are and how they get out, if they survive at all through beyond that.
Yeah.
Nope. Anakin shows up, screams how much he hates sand, and kills them.
Why I hate you?
I mean,
liar.
I have the high ground, Anakin.
Ooh, I hate you. God. I hate sand. It's coarse. It gets everywhere. Fuck you. Yeah. So, I mean, it seems like just in talking that they had a decent presentation. What would you guys grade it? I'll go first. I'm going to give them a solid C. The reason I'm giving them a C is the presentation across the board. And to be clear, you guys can grade it however the hell you want. I'm going to grade it based off of an amalgamation of what was shown and also the presentation itself. So mixing those two things, I think they had a strong presentation. I think it was very straightforward, well communicated, and nothing stupid happened. But also they showed off, even though some games I'm not particularly into, I think they had a strong showing of games and a couple surprises. Obviously weakened by what I think is a bad game, Command & Conquer. I haven't played it yet. But also some stuff that I'm not necessarily into, like the services. It's very exciting for people who are going to use those, but I don't really care about those. So yeah, I think C, strong C. It was fine.
So I am also grading based off not just what was presented, but the actual conference itself. And that'll be the same for the entire episode. So
Me too.
So I'm giving them a C plus because they did show some games
Going high.
that that were in question. Obviously, like more information on Battlefield, more information on Anthem. They showed some new stuff, but they didn't show a lot. And a lot of the stuff that EA sells is they cater to a huge array of people. So half their show isn't necessarily going to be for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
So and in that case, it was the same. I don't care about the streaming services. I don't care about the sports games.
That is something that's really interesting too, is like if you're a fanboy, like the big guys, you're going to be like really into, but like for these like omnipresent like companies like Ubisoft and EA, they got to really cater to a lot of people. And that's why I said like there's some games here I'm not really into, but people are going to be excited for them. So I don't really take anything away from that.
So and because of that, it wasn't necessarily the most entertaining thing for me. I also thought the presentation the whole time was done well.
Yeah.
Wasn't like mind blowing, but it was.
But it wasn't also like what the fuck is going on.
Yeah, it was a decent conference. So
yeah,
C plus.
Chris.
I'm gonna give it a solid C. And again, like sports games are not for me, and like the streaming services and stuff like that, I don't really care about. But it's not, I think it's like you said, it's fair to judge them solely based on that. The overall conference though of EA felt very lackluster to me, kind of just bland. Like it's an appetizer for the rest to come. So they had some really nice things to show here and there and discuss, not necessarily show a lot of stuff that I was interested in, but they did a decent job. I think they could have done more.
Sure. No, I agree. They definitely could have showed off more. I was actually surprised they didn't show off as much as, more than they did. But they had some strong games that they showed off. Mm-hmm. It was definitely just kind of like it just existed though. The biggest thing out of it was just kind of confirming that Anthem isn't dumpster fire. So, which I appreciate.
And that all 3 or 4 members of BioWare they had up there are very capable speakers.
Yeah. So. Yeah. All right. Let us know in the comments, what did you think about the EA conference? What were your takeaways? What were some things you didn't like about it, if there were any? And what would you grade it? And I'm going to be asking you that for all of these. So as we go on, feel free to grade them. Let us know everything that you think about these. I'm sure I will ask you again, though, because I want you to be involved. Next conference that we watched was the Microsoft conference. This is a really big conference. Pretty surprised how big this fucking thing was. So yeah, they showed off Halo Infinite, which they've been very open about. This is not a game yet. This is a tech example, essentially, of where they're going to go with it, but there is no game being made yet. So they are working on the engine, essentially. So we essentially got shown promise of Halo. It's coming, which is cool. Ori and the Will of the Wisps, which is a sequel to Ori and the Other Thing. And
sorry, Keith.
Keith is a big fan of it. And I still need to play it. I will play it someday, I promise. I watched this trailer and I was like, wow, that's actually fucking like beautiful looking. From Software's surprise game, Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice. A lot of people are just calling it Shadows Die Twice. So that is their new like ninja game, which was really interesting. I thought they were going to go with Tenchu because I know they own the rights to that, but they didn't. Fallout 76 was shown. Captain Spirit, which is part of that one
Life is Strange
game that I hate. Part of that series. Crackdown 3 was shown to let people know that delay. Fucking that game's gonna come out at some point. I don't know. They're just like, hey, remember that game where that was supposed to come out? Yeah, it'll come out someday. Nier Automata, Become as Gods edition, which is Nier Automata coming out for Xbox, which is really cool.
With DLC.
with the DLCs. Metro Exodus was shown off, which is the third in the series. Kingdom Hearts 3 was one of the many times Kingdom Hearts 3 was shown off. It was almost at every fucking conference.
Side note, Kingdom Hearts 3 was the most hashtagged game from E3 on Twitter.
Weird. Weird. I didn't see shit about it. I just kept seeing Ellie and what's-her-face making out all over Twitter.
Oh, God.
Sea of Thieves, they showed off the future of it, updates. Cursed Sails coming out in July and Forsaken Shores coming out in September. Battlefield 5 was also shown off some more. Forza Horizon 4 was shown off. They announced some up to 5 studios that they've acquired. Some of them are people they've worked with already for a while. They now own them. And they also, one of the bigger ones worth mentioning is Ninja Theory. They bought them. So that's really interesting. They made...
Hellblade
Senua's Sacrifice, which was I still haven't beaten it, but it's very good. They made a bunch of stuff though. They made the Devil May Cry reboot that I don't think we're getting a second one to. We Happy Few was shown off, and looks like the game's actually gonna release fully at some point. PUBG is it's a thing. It exists, and they are supporting it. Tales of Vesperia Definitive Edition, which is an RPG. The Division 2 was revealed. Xbox Game Pass, they showcased a bunch of games that are going to be coming out for that. And then they also showcased a bunch of indie games. Let's see. Also, Shadow of the Tomb Raider was shown. A game that should have been Skate 4 called Session was shown off.
Twitch trolled people on that one.
Yeah, it's fucked up. Black Desert Online was shown off. That's coming out. I'm actually kind of curious how that's going to play, because that's a simplistic MMO because it has automated systems, but it's a complicated MMO. There's a lot to it. So
combat's pure action,
yeah,
which is cool.
So it'll be really cool to see that on console and see how it plays. I need to play it in general on PC. I have it. Devil May Cry 5 was revealed, an actual sequel to the original series. A lot of people were really excited about that, from what I heard. Cuphead DLC, The Delicious Last Course, was shown off, offering a third playable character. I think her name's Miss Chalice.
I think so, yeah.
Or something like that, which is cool. A game called Tunic, which kind of looks like a... it looks like Zelda. You play as like a fox in a tunic and you cut grass. It's a lawn mowing simulator. Jump Force was shown off very briefly. Some very realistic looking Goku and Naruto and Luffy, Pirates and Skypiea. Dying Light 2 was revealed. They've made some huge changes to that with choices that actually affect the world and stuff like that. Battletoads was not shown, but it was teased that they're working on that. It's apparently going to be 3-player co-op. God, there's a lot of games on this list. Just Cause 4 was revealed for the third time because the first 2 times were leaks.
Leak.
Gears of War has a lot of things happening with it. They got Gears Pop, which is Funko Pop stuff. Gears Tactical game. Oh yeah, you put that in quotes because you didn't get to see that.
Yeah, it didn't show up on the one I watched.
Yeah, I forgot the name of it, but there is a tactical game for Gears of War coming out. Gears of War 5 was revealed. It has a female main character for one of the people who was in the stream prior to that, who was not too keen on Gears having a female main character. Well, they listened to your feedback and they changed it instantly. But to each their own. Cyberpunk 2077 was fucking revealed at the Xbox conference, which was really interesting. Big surprise. As soon as I heard the music, I was like, it's like Cyberpunk? And it was cool as fuck. Yeah, so that's what was shown at this big-ass conference. Yeah, so what are you guys' takeaways on that one?
Go ahead, Chris.
Oh my goodness. Well, I'm interested to play Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice.
Yeah.
I'm so stoked for that because it's like Dark Souls but ninjas or samurais. So
somebody had an article that was saying that this game is on their first time playing it better than Bloodborne and Dark Souls when they first played those games. They said this is an all-around better game.
It's like their answer to Neo.
Yeah, kinda.
Yeah.
So I'm excited.
Oh yeah, me too.
To play this game, so fucking excited. I hope it's more diverse than just like having a katana and maybe like maybe a Tonto. I hope the weapons are more diverse, like we expect out of games like that. Like Kama and whatever, various ninjas and samurais tools that we're used to seeing. I hope they just don't stick with katanas. That's my only hope for the game. Other than that, even if they don't, I'll still play the hell of it, I'm sure. I'm stoked for it. Fallout 76, I'm excited for it.
That one's a hit or miss with a lot of people.
I'm intrigued, I should say. Not excited. I'm intrigued. I want to see what they're doing with it because I don't quite understand exactly where they're going with the online aspect of it. It's supposed to be multiplayer, but how deep of a multiplayer are they doing? Is it world-based or is it just like, you load into a server?
I have a theory that's essentially going to be Ark. It's going to be Ark in Fallout. It's going to prioritize multiplayer. The story missions, I think, are going to be more simplistic than what they offer in the single-player-based ones. That's why a lot of people who feel almost betrayed by this game being multiplayer are upset because it's not going to give them the story that the other games will give, specifically because unless they have hubs that can't be destroyed, but specifically because it exists in a world where people can get nukes and launch them wherever they want on the map and destroy whatever's there. So whatever you build will be temporary to some extent, but so will like settlements with NPCs and stuff like that. So I think this game, they're being, in my opinion, unless they are not telling us everything, I think they're being misleading in what this game is supposed to be.
Yeah, I like I said, it's so like I'm not quite sure what they're trying to present to us. I'm still interested and kind of excited to see what they have for us though, because I've always enjoyed Fallout games. Beyond that, there's a few here and there, but not we happy few. I'm always interested to see what they have going with that. Devil May Cry 5. I'm kind of a fan of the Devil May Cry series. So I am excited to see where they're going with it and how it's going to play.
I'm so mixed on that game because don't hate me, but I'm not a big fan of the Devil May Cry series. They play great, all that stuff, and they're very stylized. But I was watching it. Me and Chevy were both kind of like just in unison, kind of cringing at all the dialogue and stuff. And it's supposed to be like that. I get that, but it's just not for us. But like we're watching it, and everything they're saying, I was like, But then I see like the action. I'm like, that's actually fucking cool looking though. Like him flying in the air and shooting shit with the city behind him, stuff like that. I was like, that looks like a good game. I'm like,
Put it on mute.
Yeah. But him kick flipping his fucking spear sword, wherever the hell it was, and all the crazy shit going on. I mean, that's the charm of the game, I guess.
Yeah. I'm interested to see where it fits into everything and how it all plays together. And then like Battletoads. I always liked playing Battletoads as a kid.
I hope it's fucking good. It's supposed to be like 2.5D, so it's going to be 2D perspective probably, but has like 3D models graphics, maybe, which would be cool. I think it'll be 3-player, which is really dope. I can't play with Josh though, because last time I played Battletoads with him, he's grabbed a pipe and killed enemies, and then when I got near him, he started cracking me in the head and killed me. So he just like as soon as Battletoads turns on, he just sees red and he starts swinging at everything. And he can't be stopped.
Most games.
Yeah. Fucking Magica.
Oh yeah.
He just saw red and started electrocuting everyone, and we're like, dude, you're killing us. He's like, electricity's the best move. It kills. I'm like, yeah, us. And he's like, well, I'm like, I don't think you get the point of this game, dog.
And of course, obligatory hype for Cyberpunk 2077.
Fuck yeah. Chevy?
Okay, so I'm gonna try to shotgun through this as fast as I can.
Yeah.
First off, the conference was very, very well put together. Very appreciated. It was fun to watch from beginning to end.
Just to save time, I'm going to reiterate that. I think it's probably one of the best conferences, presentation-wise, of all V3.
Is what I kind of expect when I want to watch a tech conference of any form.
Yeah.
So very cool. Thank you.
They had fun. They had good presentations. They were very good at communicating things. Phil Spencer, I always enjoy watching him because he just seems like a dude who loves games and loves the people who play them.
Oh yeah, he came out there with just grinning the whole fucking time.
He's having fun, and I always like that. It's more fun than the fucking overlords at EA just talking down to us as dollar bills.
We have all these services for our consumers. Like
we have many opportunities for you to give us your money.
Yeah. Okay, so excited at the prospect for a Halo game. Ori looked cool, but I don't know really anything about it. I know we have been pestered to play those.
There's wisps, and they're willful.
I love seeing From Software make games because even if I don't play them,
too.
I think they're great to watch people play because they're just well-made games. Fallout 76, I am interested in, but need more information. Don't care about Captain Spirit. Don't care about Crackdown 3. Love that people on Xbox get to play Nier. Metro looks amazing visually. I probably won't play it. Probably watch Seth play it. It'll be awesome. Kingdom Hearts 3, must buy for me. Sea of Thieves needs content. Glad to see that they're getting 2
Major
updates at least.
Yeah.
Battlefield 5 already said I was interested. Forza Horizon 4 will be fun. I will be buying that most likely. I loved the last one. I don't care about We Happy Feud, sadly. I don't like Battlegrounds games. So
I
PUBG
did until I played it.
does nothing for me. Tales of Vesperia. I'm not a big fan of the Tales series, though I am excited to see an RPG on the Xbox. The Division 2 has me intrigued. I want to keep my eye on that. Don't care about the Game Pass. Don't care about Tomb Raider that much. Session looks kind of interesting. Kind of need more information, though, on that one as well. I've played Black Desert Online. It's cool, though. There's so many MMOs to pick from, and it's not really on the top for me. Devil May Cry 5, Seth kind of already covered our opinion on that one.
Yeah. Me and you're going to be pretty similar on that one.
Cuphead DLC is awesome. I still, to this day, think it is the most visually impressive looking game that exists. Tunic looks fun.
Stylistically, right? Not graphically.
yeah.
Okay. I would say there's some very insanely gorgeous looking games.
Yeah, but I mean, that is super impressive what they pulled off with Cuphead.
Yeah.
Tunic looks like a fun experience, and I mean, will I buy it though? Unlikely, probably, to be honest.
It's just a will baby fox in a tunic.
Jump Force I'm interested in just because I'm a huge fan of Shonen Jump stuff. So
Jumpu.
the fact that I could run around as Luffy beating the shit out of everyone seems really fun to me. Dying Light 2 looks awesome, but I'll watch Seth play it. Battletoads, I don't have enough information to have an opinion. Just Cause 4 is not for me, though I'm sure it will be a blast for everyone who's into that series. And I'm going to skip Gears of War 5 because I'm not trying to piss people off. And Cyberpunk 2077 is everything I wanted it to be and more.
This is true. Okay, I'm also going to make a real quick thing through here. I said about the presentation. Like I said, I think it's one of the best presentations of E3. Very well done. Halo Infinite, I mean, it was cool to see, but it's not anything, so I can't be stoked for it. Sekiro looks awesome as fuck. It's from Software, so I don't need to see anything on it again. I'll buy it when it comes out. It will be good. Fallout 76 I am intrigued with, only because I like those open world survival online games, but at the same time, Bethesda has kind of killed my interest in most of their games, so until they redeem themselves, I will continue that route. Captain Spirit, I don't give a shit about because I hate fucking whatever it's from.
Don't nod.
Yeah. Metro Exodus. I'm skipping ones that that I'm indifferent on. If they're bad, I'll say something. In my opinion, Metro Exodus is a must-buy for me. It looks fucking amazing. The graphics are awesome. The prospect of being RTM continuing his journey into the third iteration in an open world. Exodus, they're not underground anymore. So when what's going on there, they're on a train that's moving through the world or whatever. I mean, this is fucking awesome if you follow the series. Kingdom Hearts 3, every time I see it, I'm not in love with it, and I have no background in it, so I'm not like, oh man, new Kingdom Hearts, but I am happy that there's a third one coming, and every time I see it, I'm like, man, there's a lot of things that you get to do in all these different areas, and that's kind of cool, so it makes me curious to see Chevy buy it, and then I will look and see if I want to buy it. Sea of Thieves, glad to see content coming out. Battlefield 5 already said, but I'm just mentioning anyway, because Battlefield 5 looks fucking dope. And Forza Horizon 4, probably one of my favorite things they showed off at Xbox's presentation. It looks awesome. They're going to have the seasons that are going to change the way the whole map looks. 4 different seasons. That's awesome. It's going to change driving dynamics. Forza Horizon 3, I think, is one of the best arcade racers ever made. So I'm absolutely excited for this. The new acquired studios, I think, is huge. It's a little late in Xbox's life cycle for them to be essentially fixing things, but this is really cool for the future of Xbox, showing that they are changing their priorities. It needs to be done regardless of if it's late or not. We Happy Few, like I said, I wish I could be excited for this game because the visual style is awesome, and also seeing the storyline trailer was really cool because I didn't really get a lot of that when I played it like 8 years ago, but when I did, the gameplay was very boring. So hopefully it has changed enough for me to get interested in it because I like the style. The Division 2, I want to talk more about this on the Ubisoft conference because they gave more information there, but I am definitely interested more than I thought I'd be. Game Pass, blah, 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 shout out to Teamware, blah, 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 blah. Session looks like Skate if it came out on the original Xbox. Devil May Cry 5, big surprise for me. Even if I'm not into the series, when I saw it, I was like, that's fucking cool. I had no idea they were even working on that. Cuphead, of course, needs that support because it's such a great game. Dying Light 2, huge. It's better than what I would have hoped for. They could have just been like, Dying Light 2's coming out. It's the exact same, just on a different map. And I'd be like, fuck yeah, I'm buying that. But like that they've changed core mechanics of the game and just how you can affect the world. That's something that wasn't even in the first game. So, I mean, like that's a true evolution. And so I'm really excited for that. Battletoads, fuck yeah. I haven't even seen it yet. Unless I do see it, I'm like, nah, never mind. I'm pretty excited for it. Just Cause 4. I'm gonna buy it. It's gonna be fun. Gears, good for the Gears fans. And Cyberpunk 2077, probably one of the best things I saw all E3. I've been waiting for this forever, and finally, when we got to see it, they didn't show gameplay, but it was all in engine, and it is fucking detailed, immersive, and completely authentic to what I always visually imagine Cyberpunk to look like. I mean, it looks like an 80s Cyberpunk world. It's fucking cool. And just real quick, because I don't know if people know about this, people were able to see it for an hour backstage. It's a first-person RPG. People are saying it's essentially Deus Ex meets The Witcher in gameplay. You'll be able to drive cars around an open world, be able to get into car combat and shoot at people from your car. So there's more than just driving from here to there. The dialogue tree will change based off what's going on in your perks and stats and stuff like that. So one thing they mentioned was they were in a dialogue with a dude who was getting aggressive with them, and they had all these different options to talk. And then a guy pulled a gun to their head, and as soon as he pulled the gun to their head, a new option popped up to grab the gun. So there's dynamic things that will change while you talk to people, which sounds like they're putting a lot of work into how you go about talking. They also said that every part of the game has multiple ways to go through it and multiple things that you might not experience at all. They said there's I think it was GameSpot that was talking about, was saying in their scenario, they got like kidnapped by somebody or something like that, and they had a hacker hacking their brain from the other side who kidnapped them, so it was hard for them to lie when they're interrogating them. Now that's obviously something that can change based off what stats you pick at the beginning of the game. There's also
what gear you have equipped.
Yeah. Also they said fashion aesthetic changes how you're treated in the world. So if you're in like a slummy place and you dress similar to them, it's going to change how people interact with you. It's going to change your status essentially. And also augments arms and eyes and stuff like that. They said you'll be able to jump like in the air and like kill people with arm blades. That was shown in the teaser when they first showed the game off. And they're saying also there's a part where they decided to get eye augments, and so when they do that, you sit back in a chair and they pull your eyes out, and when they pull them out from first person, you actually see your character sitting there from the eyes because they don't turn off, and then they upgrade them and put them back in. And it allowed them to be able to zoom in at any time with their eyes, and also scan characters, which is something that a lot of people would be like, oh, what, you're going to be able to see the health or whatever? Well, in this game, they said there's a lot of people randomly that like might be higher level than you, and you might not want to fuck around with them. And if you have that augment, you'll be able to tell if there's somebody who's more difficult. It's not like a level 5 area, level 10 area, level 20 area. It's like, this dude's a fucking big piece of shit, and he'll kill the hell out of you. This guy's not. Well, you don't know that unless you have those augments. So it sounds like there's a lot of shit going into this game. Very exciting. And definitely one of my favorite things I saw out of all of E3. And I'm dying to see more. Who graded the first last time? Me?
Yes.
Okay. Chris, go ahead and grade Microsoft's whatever you're grading on.
Because it was so big and it was well done. I'm gonna give it a. This is tough. Somewhere I want to give it like an A-, I think. Yeah. It was so well done, and everything was presented in such a way that was like, even if I wasn't like super interested in the game itself, it was like hypey for me to watch all of it.
Yeah.
They just did so. Even the Funko Pop figures, like the presentation for that I thought was really well done.
I saw the Funko Pops doing. They're like fire, and they fucking shut the little missile. I was like, okay, I'm not even curious, but this is actually kind of cool. I'd play that game.
I mean, it literally could have just showed pictures of like, oh, Funko Pop figures, but they took the extra effort to make it entertaining and intriguing to watch. So I give them an A- just because it was so well thought out.
Definitely. Chevy?
I got to give them a solid A. That was a very well done conference. They showed a lot of stuff, and I was not bored once through the whole conference. Even the games I'm not into, I still like sat there and watched because everything was presented so well. So I have to give it to them. Plus, they had Cyberpunk, which was what I wanted to see this year. So
yeah, it was a huge get for them for sure. When I heard that music, I was like, "Fuck, Xbox got that presentation. That's dope."
And and the sheer amount of stuff they showed off, whether it was their property or a cross-platform property, was just high quality lineup. They did a very good job. So yeah, solid A.
Yeah. I want to double check my notes to make sure I'm giving it the right grade, but yeah. I'm also giving it a very strong A. I think it was a fantastic conference, one of the best of all V3. They really brought it. They showed off a lot of games. Some people kind of complained that there wasn't enough exclusives, but like I said, I'm basing it off of what games I saw from them and how they presented them, and I think they did that great, and I think they had plenty of games, and Forza Horizon 4 looks fucking awesome. Really excited for that. So yeah, definitely one of the best shows in all of E3. And they did really good last year too. I mean, they do really good presentations. I like you said, I think is a really good point, was not bored once in that whole presentation. And looking at this list, even the games that I'm not like into, I still am interested in. So these are all good games, or will be good games in my opinion. I'm pretty sure they will be. So yeah, really fucking good. It's gonna be hard to beat this one. Anything else you guys want to say on that?
No.
Yeah. Here's to a great future in Xbox, and all you guys who might think that we're PS4 fanboys. I mean, yeah, we like PS4 a lot, but that conference was awesome.
Hey, I own all three, man.
Yeah. I like video games. I'm a big fan of video games. Let us know in the comments what you thought about the Microsoft conference and what would you grade it. Next one we watched was the Bethesda conference that was like down in a bunker somewhere. That was the one with Andrew WK, right? Yeah. They had him. He came out and did the party song. And it's funny because I'm not really into his music, but his performance was fine. It was good. They knew what they're doing. The audience though was a little just like, and some people was like,
but imagine like.
I don't think they're ready for that.
Paying to go see, like, I don't know, a play, and before the play, they have a rock concert. I mean, it'd be a little like, okay, what's going on here?
Especially when you walk in there just with that Elder Scrolls boner, and you're just like, where's it? Give me the fucking Elder Scrolls. And then some guy in a white shirt comes out and starts yelling, and you're like, who the fuck's this? Does he have Elder Scrolls with him? Then get him out of here. So they invited everybody down into this small little bunker, and they showed off Rage 2, which we saw a little bit of it before, but they showed off more of it. That game, I mean, I shouldn't be talking about this yet, but that game looks fucking awesome. Elder Scrolls Legends, they showed that off. I don't know what that is. Card game. Elder Scrolls Online, more of that.
I don't know what that is.
Doom Eternal. Doom is getting a sequel, which was very good to see. Quake Champions, they were advertising that mostly, and they also you can get that on Steam right now for free. It'll be free later when it releases, but right now you can get access to it.
Or the Bethesda Net Launcher.
Yeah. Don't do it through that though. Just get it on Steam. I tried the other one and the website was still fucked. Prey.
Yeah, they have a DLC.
Oh yeah, they got that shit coming out for it. Wolfenstein Youngblood, which I thought was just a DLC, but it's actually going to be its own thing. It's going to be a cooperative experience, which is interesting. You play as BJ Blazkowicz's two daughters, which is interesting. Prey Typhoon Hunter VR. So, Typhoon Hunter is something that's coming out for Prey. They're also going to have a VR version of that. Also, Wolfenstein Cyber Pilot VR. Fallout 76 was shown off in more detail.
Yes.
They essentially explained that it is pretty much Ark. You're going to play with like 12 people on a map, something like that, up to 12 people, or 24, something like that. It wasn't very many.
I think it was 12.
Yeah, it wasn't very many. You'll be able to play with friends, all stuff, be able to build stuff, do quests. You'll be able to play the game by yourself as well if you want. But there are going to be other people, and they can acquire keys all over the map and then launch nukes into whatever they feel like.
You can play the game by yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. That's why I said it. Fallout Shelter is coming out for PS4 and Switch. So if you're a fan of that,
It's out.
it is out, and you can play that because it's out right now. Elder Scrolls Blades, which is a mobile Elder Scrolls game that pretty much looks like Skyrim. Starfield is a promised game that potentially may come out someday. It's going to be a sci-fi game by Bethesda, the official studio. And Elder Scrolls 6 was also teased with a picture of a field that said Elder Scrolls 6. So pretty small presentation. A lot of showing from id. A lot of promise from Bethesda. So takeaways.
I think me and Chris have taken our turns going first, so...
Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, like I said before, Rage 2 looks fucking dope as shit. Seen it more. Looks even better. I want this game now. I will buy it first day. Very excited. Don't give a shit about Elder Scrolls Legends. Don't give a shit about Elder Scrolls. Well, that's not true. I kind of want to go check out Elder Scrolls Online again. So, but not because of this presentation. It just kind of reminded me of it, I guess. Doom Eternal, very excited that it's getting a sequel. I never beat the first one, but I played it quite a bit and I liked it a lot. So that's awesome. I'm glad Doom is back, essentially. Quake Champions, I actually went and downloaded it and played it. It's fucking awesome. If you like Quake, it's Quake. It just looks better. So play that. It also has a loot box system, but you unlock skins. And one thing I kind of appreciated, if you're a fan of Quake, it has skins of all the prior Quake skins. Oh. So like all the guns, and I want to unlock all the Quake 3 Arena ones, because I want all my guns to look like that. Because I was using all the guns, I'm like, what the fuck is this? I'm like, oh, it's a rail gun. And then I shoot another thing, I'm like, oh, it's the nail gun. And then I shoot another thing. And then like I was looking through the skins, and like there's like the Quake 3 circular rail gun model and shit like that. I'm like, oh fuck, I got some goals in life finally. Prey, sadly I don't care about. I played the beta of it. I wasn't very happy with it, but everybody loved it, so maybe I really should try it out again because I haven't heard bad things about it. Wolfenstein co-op. I mean, I loved Wolfenstein. Wolfenstein 2 was even better. So just getting more of this and being able to play with somebody will be very cool. Hopefully they're able to do the cinematic stuff just as well with two people, because that was a really cool experience. Prey, Typhoon Hunter VR, Wolfenstein VR shit, whatever. Fallout 76 I'm curious about, but I'm not excited for it, but I am definitely curious about it. If you're going to get me back into the series to play it, making Ark isn't a bad start because I like Ark a lot. Let's see. Fallout Shelter, don't give a fuck. Elder Scrolls Blades, definitely don't give a fuck about that at all. I spent a lot of time telling me about something I just don't give a fuck about. Starfield, there's a lot of memes online that show Garfield just in space. So I was pretty happy with that. IGN stole that from someone from Reddit.
They do it all the time.
It was annoying. I went on Reddit and it showed like the Starfield trailer, and then all of a sudden when it went to like it zoomed out and the explosion happened, and then like the logo's coming up, like Garfield floated into the screen and just said Garfield. I was like, that's so stupid. It's hilarious. And then IGN's like, look at this shit, and they showed their own version of it. And I was like, wow. I even called them out. I'm like, you stole this from Reddit, right? And Elder Scrolls 6, man, I wish I could be excited for that, but I mean, this was literally just a screensaver.
It's an announcement.
Saying that, if you read into it, they're barely in pre-production of the game. So the game's not even being worked on right now. But that also is kind of nice to know, because apparently Starfield, this is weird. They said Starfield is a next generation console game. Yeah. So it's not even coming out on this generation. So there's a while. And Elder Scrolls as well. So hopefully we'll have a new engine by then. And maybe I can stop bitching about that.
Yeah, the prospect there alone, it would be nice.
Is a slight shimmer of hope in an endless sea of fucking darkness. Yeah. So the id conference was good.
Like last year.
And Andrew WK, I mean, hey, good job.
You did your thing.
Yeah. Although the tall dude,
Avalanche?
That was awkward as fuck. I hated watching that. They're like, hey, when we said we're going big, we meant it. And they look at that guy, and he's just like, yeah, I'm tall. And everybody's like, woo! And then he went to talk, and everybody's like, woo! And the guy stopped. He's like, woo! I'm like, have you never seen a tall person before? What are we doing, man? Anyway, I sound negative. I'm sorry. This is where somebody unsubscribes.
Oh.
And I'll miss you.
So yeah, Rage 2 looks awesome. I'm probably one of the few people who liked the first Rage, so I just didn't
I
have
did too.
any. It was a very simple game, so I'm glad to see that the IP
gorgeous.
didn't die. That they still they're keeping aspects of it. I was a little disappointed not to see the crossbow, but the
It
boomerang
has to be in it
the
though.
boomerang was there, which was cool. I love that it looks like it's on the idTech engine.
Yeah,
But
it's gorgeous.
You know, obviously the guys at Avalanche make fun games, so that is one to keep your eyes on, I think.
It will be fun.
Yeah.
Like it's gonna be dope.
Card games, not so much for me, so that's a pass for me. ESO, I kind of said it earlier with Black Desert. There's so many MMOs that as far as priority goes, super low on my priority list.
MMOs are kind of dead though right now, and in their hype and popularity. Even if you go to MMO sites, they say that pretty much.
Yeah.
And so now is the time you can kind of go back and sift through all the fucking dying MMOs and just find the ones that you might like. So that's kind of why I want to go back and check out ESO again.
Honestly, the only one I even have interest in playing is Final Fantasy 14 still. So, Doom Eternal. I didn't play Doom, but I watched a bunch of stuff on it, and obviously heard how much people loved it. I don't know how many people I even talked to who were just like the experience of the game just being reinvigorated, and just the way, like, you know, jibbing through enemies heals you, and I watched like some really like hardcore runs where that's pretty much what you had to do to survive, is you're just running through, killing them faster than they kill you, type of thing. Mm-hmm. Really cool. That's
It's really interesting too to see so many people who don't even really play first person shooters like that game a lot, because it's just like a gory ass shooter. I wouldn't assume so many people would be like, that was awesome.
Well, it just shows how fun they made it though. Mm-hmm. So I mean, that's great, and I'm glad that they're making a sequel. Quake Champions, grew up with Quake. I'm glad to see them taking that and modernizing it in the regards of like, and I hate to use a comparison, but like games like Overwatch and stuff like that, where they make it more of a service type game.
Yeah, every character has an ability too.
Yeah, it just makes sense, and it's a good evolution, I think, for the series.
Yeah.
Didn't play Prey, wasn't really interested in Prey, so I'm gonna kind of just gloss over that. Wolfenstein, I have been interested in playing, I just haven't got to them, but co-op experience sounds awesome to me. VR stuff is always neat, but you know, I'm usually not buying it, so I'm not the right guy apparently. Fallout 76, I am intrigued, but I'm also hesitant because I bought Fallout 4 day one and I returned it a few days later. So I'm just kind of burnt out, I think, on the formula they've been using with their games for so long now.
And the limitations of that engine.
Yeah. So I just need something to be really new. I mean, like Fallout 4 to me just felt like Fallout 3 with mods that they had added to it. This kind of sounds the same, except for at least it's a multiplayer experience, which I think is a huge boost for it, because that and it being like Arc Light, essentially, I think is a good thing. So Fallout Shelter is cool for people who are into that. PS4 is kind of a weird one for me, I think, but Switch makes complete sense. Elder Scrolls Blades, I don't care about, though I will probably try it just to say I have. But
Is it gonna be free to play?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I went ahead and I hit the pre-order button on the App Store to get the notification when it comes out. So
Pre-order that free game.
that's what they did with Super Mario Run 2, though that wasn't free. But
I've bought into early access to free play games though, so I guess I've technically paid for free games as well.
yeah.
Warframe.
Starfield, I am interested to see what a new next generation IP from Bethesda is going to be, because
And sci-fi.
they've been writing the same titles for so long. Sometimes it's good for people to like do something different and like kind of get the creative juices going again. So hopefully that's what we see here. And Elder Scrolls 6, I'm going to reserve anything on because they didn't show anything. Like you said though, if it's a new engine, huge hope for Elder Scrolls 6 to that point. I played Skyrim and I loved playing it the first time I played it. But I'm not the type of person who will sit there and play a sandbox game over and over and over and over again. So once I beat it, I was done. There was no reason for me to come back to it. So
Yeah, Elder Scrolls 6 was kind of like if you're like opening presents at Christmas and you open the biggest box that has to be the best thing ever, and inside there's a piece of paper that says I owe you. And you're like, cool.
Yeah. We know this is why you came here, so we had to at least like put the title up here.
Yeah. Although, props to them. The best thing of their presentation, now that I'm thinking about it, was the joke about Skyrim coming out for like refrigerator and
The Alexa. thing.
Alexa. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Yeah. So I'm glad they were self-aware, like 4 years after the fact, but they still were, and it was fun. Chris, takeaways?
It's gonna be short for me because I'm just gonna go over the games that I thought were popping for me. Rage 2. It before I was just like kind of whatever about it, but watching the presentation for it, really got me kind of like interested in going at it. It's literally gonna be like beginning, middle, end. So it's gonna be Rage 2, Fallout 76, which I've already talked about, and I want to see what they do with Elder Scrolls 6. That's all. I just want to see what they're gonna do with it. That's really the things that stood out for me.
It's fair.
Yeah, it is.
Who graded last time? Doesn't matter. I'm giving it a D. I'm giving it a weak and frail D that could almost be a D minus, but it's not. Only reason that I'm giving it such a low grade, even though there's some games there I'm really excited about, is most of the presentation was all about promise, which is fine, but it almost seemed like a waste of a presentation. And the presentation itself, I didn't enjoy watching at all. Todd Howard was trying to be a comedian, and Andrew WK, although he did great in his performance,
Coming out like a fucking wrestler.
did not really need to be there, and it didn't add anything to it, in my opinion. A lot of the awkward conversations and all the like the multiple times was like, oh fuck Nazis, like, yeah, well, we get it, like that's like some guy coming out and going, murder's bad, yeah, we get it, okay. How many times are we gonna repeat that? The whole thing just was weird. It felt really unorganized. It almost felt like they just got people in that room and then just played it by ear. Like, okay, what game we show next? This. Okay, I'll go out there and keep them busy. So yeah, the presentation was really bad, and that's, I think, the biggest reason why it's so low. Also, a lot of the repetition that Bethesda 2 years now in a row has kind of been doing. I have to give them some credit though for promising games for the future, but that doesn't really do anything for me now. So like I said, id brought it again, and I'm excited for id. And yeah, if I was grading it based off of them, I'd give it a B plus. But as the whole thing, a D.
I'm gonna be a little more generous. Give it a C minus.
Going high.
Because the games I was interested in were fun, and they did announce things that I wasn't expecting. I wasn't expecting a new Doom. I wasn't expecting a co-op Wolfenstein. I wasn't expecting a space game from them. So they did. I mean, they did bring some new stuff. However,
speculated on
the
new Doom.
conference itself was hot garbage.
Lukewarm garbage.
It was hard to watch. Like, I guess cringy could be the word for it, but
Some of it.
It was just so, like, they just got all their friends together and they were hanging out. But and I'm sure it's fun for some people, but that's, I'm trying to watch a presentation. It didn't feel like a presentation. It felt like a bunch of people just like goofing off, and not in a good way, as a conference later does. So I don't know. Some good. There's some bad. C minus.
I'm gonna go with Seth here and just give it a D, because beyond the hype that it gave me for Rage 2, most of it was just very awkward and cringy. It was flat out cringy for me to watch them interact with each other. Even the intro, just that rock band, and watching everybody in the audience just kind of like, hey, what's happening?
They just clap their hands going, where the fuck is Elder Scrolls at?
Yeah, like
the
it was
police
just,
clap guy was in that
it
conference.
was so bad, and I was so disappointed.
Mm-hmm.
Just like all the weird little games they're coming out with. Like, yeah, sure, there's some good games that they're promising that are going to come out with, but like the ones that seems like they're more like legit, like this is coming out soon, are the weird like little like mobile games and shit like that. Like the games that nobody really cares about, and it was just so disappointing.
For games that are not coming out in the next 5 years, but like in the next year, all their stuff was like card games and mobile games. And it was really, really disappointing. But one thing I just really want to stress and back quite a bit, though, is I'm thinking back on all the conferences, and Bethesda's had to have been one of the most boring to watch. That boring aspect of EA watching, like, FIFA and stuff like that just because I'm not into it. I mean, the whole Bethesda conference was that for me. I was just like, get to the next game, and I'd watch it and be like, I'm not really into that, or oh shit, that looks awesome, and then go back to the conference. I'm like, man, I want this to be over. Just tell me what's coming out. So I think that's the biggest reason. Yeah. So D, and a C minus. Let us know in the comments. Did you love it? Would you rate it higher?
Do you hate us now?
Do you hate us now? Do you understand the difference of opinions? And we respect yours, so respect ours. And let's have a conversation about it. But let us know your what you would grade it and what you took away from it. What were you excited about? What didn't you like about it? Are you a fan of Andrew WK? A lot of people seem to like that party song. Let us know. And the next one that was shown was Devolver doing their own thing. Devolver Digital. 2 years now, they've been doing what almost seems like has a canon to it. There's a story happening, which is really cool. Nina. I was very happy with that. So they had a small little presentation. They showed off. They barely even needed to show off anything. There's like I didn't watch it for the games, honestly. But if you watched it for the games, they showed off Scum, which is kind of I don't know if it's a battle royal, but it's like a shooter game that's ridiculous and people are naked in the woods and shit. It's a Devolver game. They also made a kind of joke that you can give them money for, loot box coin, which is a currency that they say is you don't know how much it's worth.
Unrestricted by all like governments and yeah.
And it's so like aloof in what it is that no one knows what it's worth. Blah blah blah.
$143 on their merch store.
Yeah, it costs money. If it wasn't that much, I would jokingly buy one, but that's too much for a fucking joke. But people will buy that, and that's good for them. My friend Pedro, which is a game that they've been showing off for a while, but they showed off more of it. It's kind of a bullet ballet game where people are describing it essentially as Max Payne, more gory Max Payne in 2D, which sounds great to me. And then Metal Wolf Chaos, which is a game that came out a long time ago from Software. Apparently had really bad voice acting, and they maintained all of that and just remastered it. So in Devolver fashion, they really are happy with how bad that voice acting is. So other than that, though, the presentation was this ongoing presentation of Nina Struthers essentially telling us how unimportant we are and how much we should give them our money and all the different ways they have to get our money from us, and while showing us stuff that everybody's just really happy and clapping for. And then the guy from last year who was throwing money into the machine, got his arm stuck, came back from the future's future to fucking kill Nina and unload it on her. Just go watch it. It's really good. So takeaways, since there's not a whole lot here. My takeaway is the conference is dope as shit. Like I said, I watched it for that. This is the opposite of the Bethesda one. The games are fine, but I watched it because I wanted to know what the fuck was going to happen, and I was very happy with it. In the video, if you watch the stream, I may not seem very enthralled. I was very tired. This is my workout day, so like 600 push-ups later, I was fucking just sitting there like in my brain, I'm like ha ha ha, but like physically, I'm just on life support. Scum looks interesting. I want to look into it. It looks like a game I would buy. My friend Pedro, I'm definitely going to buy. And Metal Wolf Chaos is another game I kind of want to pick up. So they showed off some good games. Every Devolver game, I'm like, even if the gameplay is like whatever, I'm like, there's always like a stylistic thing
weird
to
quirk
it.
to it,
Yeah, that I'm like, it's just different enough that I want to get it. So they do a really good job. Yeah, those are my takeaways.
The fucking saga of Nina at this point is just a fun thing to watch. I love the satire of them essentially making fun of E3 and press conferences and the gaming industry in general. Basically talking about, the fake person playing the video games and all the crap that people just eat up, and it's great. And even though I'm one of those people who watch those conferences to eat up, everything they're sending at me, that's kind of the joy of E3, and it's also the joy of Devolver to just rip that to fucking shreds. So honestly, the game list, I'm probably not going to buy a single one of those. It wasn't why I watched that conference, so That's my takeaway.
Chris?
I love their presentations just for the sheer like art and show of it. But like takeaways for games and stuff like that go, I'm interested in my friend Pedro. It looked really fun and neat. In their digital Devolver Digital way of kind of like these, like you said, these games with weird little like twists and angles to them that they do. Other than that, I just for reference, the loot box coin is no longer available. They took it off, or it's sold out. So who knows how much it's gonna be in the future?
Yeah, the future's future.
The future's future.
You'll make a comeback next year.
But yeah, I mean, like you said, the presentation, they put so much effort into it. It's amazing.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's definitely. I already said Xbox is one of the best presentations, but I think Devolver's probably one of the most fun ones. It's just like we've all said, we watched it because we knew it was going to be fun, and it was. So, yeah. Anything else you're see on that, Chris?
No.
Chevy, grade it.
So I'm going to put a disclaimer here. I am grading this one based off the entertainment of the show alone. A+. Amazing. I love watching this stuff. It's always a good time. So
that's fucking crazy high.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, so I'm gonna maintain my same thing with how I'm grading this. I'm gonna give it a B-, very strong B-. It was a very good presentation, and the fun factor and the games they showed off all look fun. So B-, high, good, really liked it. Best thing about it was the humor. Chris?
I'm gonna shy away from just how the art was, because if I did that, it would be like like S, double S for me. Like I just loved it so much.
Triple S.
But overall, I'm gonna give it a B+, because although they did put a lot of effort into showcasing their games, there wasn't much to showcase for me. And it just it was more focused on the tongue in cheek and the satire aspect of it than really the focus on the games.
Yeah, definitely. So B-, B+, A+. All right. Let us know in the comments what you thought about the Devolver Digital conference or whatever the hell that was. And yeah, let us know your takeaways. Let us know what you would grade it as well.
check a look.
Check a look. Hashtag check a look. Yes, the next one is the Ubisoft conference. We were shown a panda who just fucking was killing it with the moves. Very, very svelte, very trim panda. The most trim panda I've ever seen in my life. Just killing it with them moves to show off Just Dance 2019. Beyond Good and Evil 2 was shown off. Some details given. Some reveals in the trailer showing that Jade from the last game will be a younger version of herself in this, since this is a prequel. Rainbow Six Siege is promising more content and is a very successful game with like 36 million people, which is crazy. New Trials coming out, Trials Rising, coming back to a more modern era thematically. The Division 2 was shown off in greater detail, obviously because Ubisoft, it's their game, talking about that they learned a lot of lessons from the Division 1, and this one is going to have more end game content. It's going to have 8-player raids, and they have the first year already planned out with 3 episodes that are going to be free for everybody. Very big, and we'll talk about that more. Mario Rabbids Kingdom Battle Donkey Kong Adventure. There's a DLC coming out that is going to take it to Donkey Kong's world. Kind of expanding it. Skull and Bones was shown again and really elaborated on to a point where they showed that there's way more to that game than originally thought.
They showed a game this year.
Yeah. Yeah, that was actually a really interesting thing that I want to talk with you about. Transference VR, Elijah Wood's game that almost looks like survival horror, trippy, psychedelic experience that's VR. Starlink was shown off. That's going to have well, actually, that's not for this though. That's for the Star Fox
Well, that particular
thing.
part
That's
of it, yeah.
Nintendo. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, Starlink was shown off. For Honor, they're talking about essentially the future for Honor. They revealed that they are bringing in another group of people as fighters. The Chinese, which is really neat, very different, and one I was actually really happy to see. I was like, oh, that one fits. That's cool.
Yeah.
Also, you can get For Honor right now on the Ubisoft launcher. Uplay for free. I downloaded it because fucking why not? It's free. Best price. The Crew 2 was shown off. That's coming out soon. Fuck, I gotta get that. So now you know what I think of that. And Assassin's Creed Odyssey was confirmed and elaborated on. It's going to be set in ancient Greece. You're going to be able to pick a male or female to play as. There's going to be choices in the game and romances. So they're taking a note from like BioWare games and The Witcher. And there's going to be large scale battles. So they're changing it up a bit. And if you guys didn't play the last one, they kind of went with a more RPG feel with the last game. And in this, they literally said that they're making this into more of an RPG. So it's completely been redirected. And I can tell you, as someone who was sick of Assassin's Creed, it's a good direction. I'm actually happy with it. So takeaways. Anybody want to go first, or I'll just jump in?
I'll go first.
Okay.
So I don't care about Just Dance at all, but the panda was dope.
Was sick.
And it was expected. They do Just Dance every year, so I don't hate that they do it. I actually like to kind of see what they come up with to try to advertise a game where you pretend to dance. Beyond Good and Evil 2 was what I wanted to see this show, and they pretty much started with that, which was a great way to start the show, in my opinion. They showed a really, really impressive CG trailer for the game.
It's very cool.
God, it was so detailed. Really cool.
And then they showed the game off as well and looked like fucking like Fifth Element.
Oh, yeah.
It was very cool looking.
So far, everything about this game sounds amazing.
It's
so
multiplayer.
I am going to be keeping a nice close eye on that one. Rainbow Six Siege, I'm glad to see the game still going. We're fans of it here at the channel. Trials Rising. Trials is a fun game. Reminder, play Trials Fusion on PlayStation Plus.
We'll be talking about that at the end of the month.
Division 2.
One second. It's also it's interesting too, because when they first were releasing Trials on PlayStation Plus, like, oh, it's cool. That's a game you can definitely give out. And then they said Trials Rising's come out. I'm like, that's why they released it, because then people can play for free. And now they see that and they're like, oh, I'm going to buy that. It's smart.
Yeah, no, for sure. The Division 2. So we've said it a few times on the channel now. We're kind of burnt out with Destiny, and the Division was fun, but it just ends. And in typical, to quote Seth here, Ubisoft's really good about taking feedback and actually listening. And the Division 2 sounds just like that. Mm-hmm. They're coming out the gate with Raid, free content updates, and even the world itself is a lot more pleasant looking
and open.
Yeah. I liked the Division and stuff, but like staring at snow and corridors is boring after a while.
White and gray. It's just
also
got fatiguing.
The giant enemy they showed where you're shooting it and the armor starts falling off it before you can actually damage dude. I think that's really neat. That's a little detail that I really appreciate. So I'm keeping my eye on that one. I'm probably going to buy it. I was a fan of the first one. I just didn't have longevity for me. Mario Rabbids is fun. I'll probably get this. I already own Mario Rabbids anyways. Skull and Bones. So this one I know you want to talk to me a little bit about. It is interesting that last year they showed off what seemed to be a pirate version of For Honor, and I just was not fucking into it at all. It looked stupid.
Yeah, we both saw it, and I was like, it's pretty much Black Flag's ship combat. Mm-hmm. And we were watching it again, and me and you both kind of had like a realization of like, this actually looks kind of cool.
Yeah.
It was the ultimate like flip flop, because this is a game I was like, I knew I'm not going to buy. I was like, that's not for me. That's not for me. And then I watched it this time. I'm like, is that for me? I kept watching. I'm like, this looks kind of fucking cool. It kind of has like something. It feels similar to like oh god, Xbox game, Sea of Thieves, without the walking around thing. I mean, in ports you can walk around, but like mostly it's a ship game. But like, It's got that Ubisoft fucking like premium feel though. It's a really good looking game. The battles look really intense with like the amount of cannons shooting off, the smoke and just the fucking wood flying around and shit.
Oh, yeah.
Really intense. How easy it is to just like look at somebody and hit one button and have them join your party and just get in there and start fighting like massive ships that are higher level and stuff like that. It looks like it's gonna be a fun game. Like I've completely changed my stance on that.
And you said pretty much everything I was thinking. Yeah. My only disappointment, in fact, the whole time was I was kind of bummed out that you are the ship.
Yeah.
I kind of like the Sea of Thieves thing where you get to be a crew member, especially for the prospect of co-op in this instead. It's just your buddy's ship shows up. Not a bad thing, but kind of was a little bit disappointing for me.
Go tell Yves Guillemot. Maybe he'll fucking
They'll
be
change
like,
it.
Yeah, I'll fuck it. We'll change it.
But I am now keeping my eyes on that game. As for like you said, I didn't give a shit before.
Yeah, it's crazy. Huge flip-flop.
Transference, pass, Starlink, pass, For Honor, pass, the Crew 2. I want to see you play it.
It's fun.
I am interested.
I feel like going fast. It's fun.
And then Assassin's Creed Odyssey might be the first Assassin's Creed I have bought since the original.
You had Unity.
Oh, I did have Unity, but for co-op only.
Yeah,
I didn't buy that
the
because I wanted
servers didn't
Assassin's
work.
Creed. Yeah, I bought that because I wanted to play with you. Then it didn't work.
Never happened.
And never played it.
Yep.
So this actually looks cool, but you kind of role playing game, Mass Effect, BioWare-esque stuff going on. I'm pretty sold on that idea. So
yeah. I'll jump in real quick. Just Dance Don't Care, Beyond Good and Evil 2, probably up there with Cyberpunk as one of my most anticipated and happiest games out of E3. I looked at that thing, I was like, that's a game I'm for sure fucking buying. It's just screams just a unique looking experience that
it's crispy in the dark.
It's a very cool looking game. I love that you make your own character, you can play with people. It looks like it's gonna be a sprawling open world sci-fi. It's gonna be such a cool fucking game. Glad Rainbow Six is doing great. That's awesome. Trials Rising, excited for that. I love Trials. I've been going through and making sure that I have the highest score in Trials. So on Plus Club, I will let you guys know if I achieve that. There's one that Chevy has a huge fucking lead on me, and I'm trying to beat him. So we'll root for me or root for him. I'm the asshole.
I don't care.
Chevy's secretly, fuck it, I want him to get it. I doubt that. Division 2 was a good show of faith. I like the Division. I would have been curious about the Division 2 if it stayed the same, but the amount of stuff they're working on with it, like kind of like Chevy said, in typical Ubisoft fashion, I mean, even in their conference, Yves Guillemot at the end said that the whole experience is about our feedback and them trying to work with us to make the best games possible. And I mean, they talk about that in the conference, and that's something I've been saying forever. I've just noticed with Ubisoft, like they do listen. Out of the big three, they're the one company that actually gives a fuck. So I love that. And the Division 2 is looking better than the first one. And I liked the first one. Just like Chevy said, the end content was limited, as was Destiny. So it's kind of a problem they're running into. They're aware of it. So they're working on it. Can't wait to see how that turns out. Definitely will buy it. I love that Mario and Rabbids is getting an expansion essentially with different Nintendo characters. I didn't expect that, and I love that surprise. When I buy Switch, I will most likely buy this because it looked awesome. Saw more of that weird Rabbid Peach, and that's like my favorite thing ever. I got them right up. I haven't played the fucking game. There they are, right there. I love it. Skull and Bones, like we already talked about. I mean, I went from fuck that game to I want to play that game. So I mean, they did the best thing they could have done. Transference looks interesting. I like VR a lot. It's cool to see Elijah Wood working with them to do something interesting.
Oh no.
Oh no. Yeah. Starlink, I don't care. For Honor, it's free. I downloaded it. The Crew 2, I'm going to be buying that very soon. I don't even remember what they showed. I just know I was like, yeah, that's coming out soon. I'll be getting that.
You played the beta though.
Yeah. It's a very cool game. Assassin's Creed Odyssey seems to be another it seems to be the progression of what they did with the last game, and I think what they did with the last game was awesome. Ancient Greece, I think, will be a very cool place to run around. I love the armor and the cultural stuff and all that stuff from Ancient Greece, so it'll be very, very cool to see. And I like the things they're adding, even though they do seem simplistic. I watched some of the videos, and like the dialogue was like, will you do this mission for me? And you're like, nah, or yeah, or I don't know. What are you going to do for me? And it's like really basic stuff, but it's still cool. It's something that didn't have before, so it's going to make the experience more detailed, and the battles look cool, and they haven't really done stuff like that. So it just shows that they're moving away from the formula of sneak kill, parry kill, and now it's like an RPG that has good stealth mechanics.
Hey, the parry thing's funny because that is literally how I played Assassin's Creed. I would just run
Everybody
into
did.
a group and, okay, come on.
That's how the game was. You either use simplistic stealth controls of walking into a bush or walking out of a bush or jumping onto somebody, or you parried everyone until they died. And now it plays more like an action game. It's similar to like Dark Souls, except for not as like easy to get killed or kill. And it has like a crouch button. It has good stealth mechanics. It's built for stealth, and it's an RPG with like gear. So I mean, it's the same game but a different game, and I'm very happy to see it continue like this. So yeah, Chris.
I never played Beyond Good and Evil 2 or 1, so
I just bought it. It's $2 right now on PC.
On Steam?
Ubisoft store.
You play?
Yeah. Yeah, it's $2 on sale. I think it's like typically like 10 or $20.
Okay.
But I've been wanting to play it, and now I definitely want to play it. So I was like, $2? Like, how could I not buy it? So sorry to interrupt you. I never played it either.
I like the trailer they did for it, though. It looked really fun and deep and compelling. Rainbow Six Siege, like you guys said, cool that they're continuing supporting it. Division 2, I will wait with held in my breath for it, I guess, at this point. Just because I've been burnt by those kind of games in the past. So Ubisoft, like you said, is really good about listening to the community and making changes. So that's why I'm holding my breath for it and like not just kind of like whatever about it. So we'll see. Skull and Bones, I still don't. Sea of Thieves is enough for me. I want to walk around playing my hurdy-gurdy.
They do have that. That's for sure.
For Honor, I don't play competitive games like that, although it is nice to see my people represented in it.
My people.
I figured of all the cultures, they developed a lot of weapons, a lot of melee weapons for those Warring Kingdoms periods, so it's nice to see them thrown in there. And the guy with the spear, I don't know if anybody knows, that's Guan Yu. He was known as the God of War in his time, so it's nice to see him in there.
Yeah, I played that game recently. He's very buff and Caucasian. Boy! He calls a child boy a lot.
Assassin's Creed Odyssey, though, really stuck out for me in this one. Every time I watch it, I don't feel like I'm watching Assassin's Creed anymore. It doesn't feel like the old ones, because the last one I played was Black Flag, and I really enjoyed that one, but I played the original, and then I took a huge gap in between because they were all the same, and I didn't want to play the same thing over and over again. So it's nice that it feels really fresh and new. It's just different.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for it.
Yeah, we're in the absence of Bethesda really making kind of what they popularized, the open world RPG, Western RPG, that so many people, even Assassin's Creed, has moved in on that territory now. It's crazy. I mean, The Witcher, in my opinion, is pretty much king daddy of that, but there's a lot of games out there now that kind of follow that open world RPG thing. It's so weird that Assassin's Creed is a competent one. I mean, when I play it, I'm not like, ooh, Altair fucking sneaking around and killing things. I'm like, this is an RPG that I'm doing side quests in an open world and getting cool shit. So yeah, is that everything?
That's everything.
All right. Who wants to grade this? You did first last time, so let's go with Chris.
I'm gonna give this, and it's hard to compare it to like other grades that I've given, but like for overall presentation, it felt very professional and very well done. It wasn't super like artsy for me, like crazy hypey, but I'm gonna give it a solid B+. I think it was really well done. And the games they showed off, they showed a lot of good stuff for. But it just it was very professional, very office professional to me. So it was all right.
Yeah, I agree with that. It seemed very professional, but there's also a lot of parts where they had a lot of fun, which I really appreciated, because the beginning started with the fucking panda dancing, which I loved. Trials had the guy come out and walk. The guy who's the creative director of the fucking game came out and pulled some jackass shit through the podium, which I wouldn't expect. And he just dressed up like an idiot. Like, they had a lot of fun with it. And at the very end, everybody from the conference came out and hung out with Yves Guillemot. One of the guys who works for him was calling him Yves. So you can tell, like, Ubisoft has, like, a more casual feel than, like, the robots at EA who are just scanning the crowd for how many pennies they can get out of them pockets. So I really enjoy that aspect. As for the presentation, not the presentation, we already talked about that, but like the games, I mean, it's a good roster, man. There's a lot of good games there that I'm really excited about. Some surprises and some things that like really made me flip flop. Like I said, I was originally going to give this a B+, but now talking about it, I'm going to give it an A-. I think it was a really good conference. I had a lot of fun watching it, and it was never bored. I love seeing a big company like Ubisoft have a more close connection with their community and the games. There's quite a bit of them there that I was really excited for. And I think they did a good job on kind of communicating what we're getting with the game when it comes out or what's coming in the future for the game. They're, like I said, the communication was like key. They really were just like, you know, as fans of us, this is what we're doing for you, for what you're paying. And I thought that was really fucking cool. So yeah, A-.
So I'm actually gonna give him a solid A.
Should've feeling generous today.
Well, apparently, I wrote these down, you know, before today. So that's just where I felt shortly after I watched them. So I think you guys hit a lot of good key points. It was professional yet fun. It was a good lineup and very informative. Like overall, it's just a really good conference. Once again, I wasn't bored. I was watching the whole conference. I was having a good time. They were able to be professional and light-hearted about it the whole time, and it's great. They seem like a cool company in that regard, and they have good products, and they really made an emphasis on, we're listening to you. Here's the things we're changing from the last game that you guys wanted. These guys make so much money, they don't have to do that shit. They could be EA, they could be Activision, and they could just keep making the same thing over and over again and milking it until it's dead, and they don't do that, and I really appreciate that, and they really showed that off at the conference. Solid A.
All right, all high. Let us know in the comments, what did you take away from the Ubisoft conference, and what would you grade it? Did you have fun watching it? Let us know everything you're thinking about when it comes to Ubisoft. Next one is another big dog, the Sony conference, much anticipated because they announced ahead of time 4 of the big ones they're going to be showing off, but they actually showed off more, which I was very happy with. A lot of surprises as well. Yeah. So let's go through the list. We got to see gameplay of The Last of Us 2, Part 2. We also got to see 2 chicks kiss. Then Twitter wouldn't shut up about that. Very happy for them, but like they're like, did you see these?
All the game news sites.
Did you see these girls kiss? They kissed. Did you see it? I'm like, yeah, I've seen girls kiss before. People kiss. They do that. There's girls that kiss. There's fucking boys that kiss. I'll kiss anybody as long as they're fucking attractive. And right before that, they had Gustavo something play one of his songs from the game. He's the guy that does the acoustic music for The Last of Us, which I thought was a cool touch. There's a lot of music they showed off at I almost said E3. In general, yeah, they did. But Sony. Mm-hmm. We got to see a little bit of Call of Duty Black Ops 4 and maps that are from the prior Black Ops games that are coming to 4 and also 3 if you pre-order 4 through PlayStation's store. So that's kind of interesting. I don't know what to do because I want those maps, but I want to buy that game physically. So, and I think you can get it physically if you pre-order through them, but I think you have to off the website. Anyway, what the fuck is this? Oh, Days of E3 recap. These were the games that they showed off before E3 happened. They promised they'd do that in those games. They kind of recapped them real quick, but that was Tetris Effect, Days Gone, Twin Mirror, Ghost Giant VR, and Beat Saber, which is essentially lightsabers. You're swinging at things flying at you to a beat. They showed off Destiny 2 Forsaken. I don't even remember that happening. I remember the Sony conference pretty well. But I don't remember.
Just fucking blanked on that part.
I don't remember seeing Destiny.
You saw as soon as you saw Destiny, you were just like,
yeah, my fucking computer went to sleep mode in my brain. Then we got the gameplay reveal of Ghost of Tsushima, which I think is probably one of the biggest like surprises to everybody. The what I've seen feedback wise has been very positive to that game. And if you didn't get to see that, it's essentially a samurai / ninja action game that definitely takes a lot from Kurosawa's movies.
Totally romanticizes.
Yeah. Control was shown off. Another game by Remedy, the guys who made Quantum Break, Max Payne, the original one, Alan Wake. Guys always have really inventive ideas to their action adventure or shooters. I'm a big fan of them, so I was very happy to see that. Resident Evil 2 is being remade. And they showed that off a little bit. They actually showed off gameplay. Either this weekend or this Tuesday, we're going to be watching some of the videos that weren't shown in the presentation. So stay tuned for that. If there's something that you want us to watch, let us know sooner than later, please. But one thing I did want to watch with you guys is Resident Evil 2. I watched some of the gameplay. It looks fucking awesome. And I we'll get into it, but like I was just like really surprised. They really, it's not just like a reskinning. It's a complete reimagining. Very cool. Trover Saves the Universe. Oh, that's the guy in the
Rick and Morty. Dude.
Yeah, the guy in the bathtub. Yeah, that was like the one. Oh, we'll talk about it. God, I just want to talk about it already. Kingdom Hearts 3 was shown yet again. Something about PS Pro and all in one package. 1.5 and Friends Final Chapter Prologue Forever.
How about I do that part for you?
Sure.
Kingdom Hearts 3 was shown as well as a PlayStation Pro with the Kingdom Hearts 3 design on it, and also there is going to be an all-in-one Kingdom Hearts package that comes with Kingdom Hearts 1.5 and 2.5 Remix, 2.8 Final Chapter Prologue, and Kingdom Hearts 3 for PlayStation 4 only.
Yeah, when I saw the PS4 Pro, I was like, oh, Chevy, it's time for you to get a PS4 Pro now.
I've been wanting one. So.
Yeah. Much hyped and anticipated babysitting simulator, Death Stranding, was shown off finally, in which they showed that you get to take baby to the park and make sure it stays nice and warm in the orange Jello. And you meet. I always heard that if you go to the park with like a dog or a baby, like it's a good way to like meet chicks, because they're like, oh, blah blah blah. He meets a chick in a cave. She says some really cryptic shit, typical stuff when you meet girls. And we still don't know what the fuck's going on in the game. So that's why I'm saying a lot of things right now. Neo 2, big surprise. Something we'll talk about it. I keep wanting to fucking just talk about it. And they showed off Spider-Man gameplay and kind of gave us a glimpse of the enemies you'll be fighting and the overall tone. So, takeaways. Since I can't shut the fuck up, I'm just going to jump into it. Last of Us 2, one of my most anticipated, one of the biggest games I saw at E3, one of the happiest the happiest I was watching anything there. It's up there with the rest of the ones I've been talking about. Like, it looks fucking amazing. I didn't even need to see it, but I did. Naughty Dog gets better every fucking game by a huge margin. This is not different. It looks amazing. The gameplay is even more deep. All the small details and nuance to just even moving across the terrain and touching everything and squeezing between shelves and the kills, the enemies talking to each other by name, being able to climb under cars, shooting the chick in the fucking cheek and seeing the bullet and the blood come out of her face like that.
And the way her body dropped.
And her body just slumping forward. Like, the detail's stupid good. Like, it... I know I just talked about a lot of like violent shit. That's what that was shown. But like, I'm so fucking ready for that game.
Little side note on the violent aspect of the game. They asked him about that, and he said it's supposed to be repulsive. That's the point. Yeah. It's not supposed to be attractive. It's supposed to be gross.
Well, that's what a lot of people are trying to achieve. Just we live in a time now where you have to explain that to people. Yeah. It's like we've gone back where people don't understand things anymore.
Yeah, you're not supposed to feel good about it.
It's gross. Do you like gross things? No, but the fucking point is this is a really harsh world that they live in, and you're not supposed to kill things and go, yeah, I got him. You're supposed to kill people and go, holy shit.
Yeah.
Anyway, very excited for that game. One of the top games out of E3 for me. Call of Duty with the maps, yeah. I'm down.
That's your Madden.
Yeah, it is my Madden. if Cody's got his Rocket League and fucking everybody's got their game that they're like always gonna play no matter what, Call of Duty's that for me. I'll talk up certain ones, but for the most part, yeah, it's just Madden for me. Destiny, I don't remember you, Destiny. Were you there? The recap, whatever. Those games are cool. Tetris Effect still looks fucking sick as shit, and it's a Tetris game. Ghost of Tsushima, huge fucking surprise. I was already like, this game's gonna be pretty cool. Then I saw it, and I was like, this game looks amazing. The visual style, everything about it is just like a bunch of people who really like samurai movies, like me, were like, let's fucking make a samurai movie video game, and all the combat's gonna look like all those scenes from all those Kurosawa movies, and we're gonna do all the cliche shit with the leaves flowing in the wind and the sun behind them and all this stuff, and it's gonna have a cool storyline. And they did all that, and I was like, it's just like, it's oh god, what's that called where they do something for the fans?
Fan service?
Fan service. It's just like a samurai fan service. I just looked at the whole thing. I was like, ugh, I just need to play this.
Let me touch it.
It's literally like anything. You're like, oh, does it have this in a samurai game? They're like, yeah, it definitely has that. What about this? Oh, it has that. I'm just like, okay, I'm sold. So very excited for that game. It got like top game of E3 from a bunch of people. So, and I think it deserves that. It going in without expectations, it was a very cool thing to see. Control, very excited about that. I love Remedy. I think they're one of the most inventive companies in the shooter area. I liked Quantum Break quite a bit. A lot of people didn't even play it. Alan Wake got fucked because it took too long to come out, but I played it when it did come out, and it was amazing. If you didn't play that, go back and play it. And Max Payne, I love Max Payne. So this looks really cool. There's also gameplay footage of that, so I'd like to watch that as well. Resident Evil 2, like I said before, complete reimagining. Looks awesome. The gore is like gross and really intense. The voice acting's better than the last Resident Evil game. Like, it's good. Leon Kennedy sound like a character. He didn't sound like some weird blank slate. This dude he runs into. This one guy climbs under. He's like banging on the door screaming shit like, let me up, blah, 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 blah. And he pulls the gate up, starts pulling him through, and the zombies grab him, start ripping him up, and you rip like half of him through the door, and the guy's just screaming at the top of his lungs, like, not like but like, ah! And I was like, damn, like they really are going for like a horror feel to that game. Very excited for that game. I didn't think like at first I was like, oh, that's cool, Resident Evil 2, and then I watched the footage. I was like, wow, okay, that's gonna be like a whole.
Kind of had to. That's like a lot of people's favorite Resident Evil.
Yeah. Well, it's a lot of people's first, too, which is really interesting. That's the one that really made Resident Evil jump up. I played the first Resident Evil when the PlayStation first came out, and that shit changed my life.
In the huge fucking cases.
Yeah. Trover does something I don't care about what he did. Kingdom Hearts 3, it was everywhere, and I am waiting for Chevy to pick it up to know if I'm picking it up. Never has a game made me want to babysit a baby in orange jello as much as Death Stranding. Don't know anything about it, but Kojima is my fucking boy, and he's made my favorite series of all time. I will follow him to the fucking ends of the earth and back into hell. I don't care what it is. This game looks awesome, and he just walked around a lot. The music is really good. The presentation is really good. The graphics look great. The world is insane looking. It's like, it's rocky and grassy, but like it seems very alien and like just foreign in the way it looked. It was very cool.
I think it's funny that he sits down and makes those trailers.
Oh, I believe it. I mean, he's a film nerd. He's a music nerd. Like he's an artist. I mean, he really is. Neo 2 was such a fucking pleasant surprise. I mean, me and Chris are both huge fans of Neo. We both beat it, love the hell out of it. Not to talk for you, Chris, but I want to mention you when I say I love Neo. We love Neo. Neo 2 is going to be fucking sick. I already am ready to buy it. And Spider-Man, it looks awesome. It reminds me of the famous Spider-Man 2 game that everybody loved, just with way better graphics. And yeah, it just looks awesome. I can't wait to play it. So, I mean, Sony had just a strong ass. Their presentation sucked. I'm just going to say it. It was very unprofessional. The thing is, though, they didn't fucking care about it because they just had it in the bag with the games. They have a lot of these are exclusives. No one's getting these. They are. And they're like console sellers. They're going to sell, same dude's going to buy multiple consoles just for each of these games, just to be like, I love you, Sony.
I mean, you've bought 2 PlayStations.
I have.
I'm going to be. So
Show me another cool PS4 Pro, and maybe you'll sell a fourth or third one and a fourth one. I don't know. I'm one of those guys. Anyway,
all right. First and foremost, I have to say the tech
shit.
boner is real. Holy shit, man!
it's a real tech boner, not a fake one.
They showed off some of the most impressive things in games.
Yeah, not even just on PC, or on console, just in general.
It's insane. So
Yeah.
first off, Last of Us 2 looks absolutely amazing. The level of detail is top of its game. No one can beat it. It's crazy. And even to bring up the kiss scene, because everyone's talking about it anyways, but they interviewed him, asked him how he did it. And it was really interesting to see that they had to do that all by hand. That wasn't a mocap scene. So they had to actually create
They had mocap the kiss.
they got close and then they had to animate the rest.
Wow, they did a good job.
Yeah, and the lip sticking was actually a thing they had to program in. So that's how it came off so real looking. No one else.
So hard to do.
It's something as simple as that. No one makes human interacting like that look real, and that looked fucking real.
Kissing always looks weird in video games.
It looks, yeah, it's alien.
But for the most part, people are just putting people's faces close together and putting their lips on each other. And that's
Yeah,
about it.
and
So
that's
to
it.
see the actual fucking lip working, lip action happening.
Also, the sound effects, I could not stand that. I'm the type of person who does not like ASMR. If you're into ASMR, put headphones on and watch those two kiss. Like, you get all the little mouth
Ew.
noises. It's gross.
Yeah.
Only when you describe it like that, am I saying you? I didn't think about that until you're like fucking listen to it. I'm like, no.
I
Sit there,
as
just listen to
soon
people
as it
make out? It's not
I
comforting.
was paying attention to how well it looked, but at the same time, I was like, "Oh God, I can hear everything. I hate this. I hate
Oh,
this."
I remember that. I was just like, oh, wait till fucking Twitter gets a hold of this. There's gonna be some people going, they're fucking putting lesbians in our games, and then there's gonna be other people going like, look at these girls make out. You're not gonna believe this.
And then people who actually played Last of Us were like, "This was established
This
already."
is a continuation of the story. It's that's normal.
But anyways, as far as gameplay goes, like I already said, next level shit. It is unbelievable. These guys always constantly are outdoing themselves and the industry. It's insane.
Yeah, and it's funny too because God of War came out, and I think it's one of the most technically impressive games that exists. And when it came out, Naughty Dog was like, "Wow, you guys are setting the fucking bar high." But from them, like, that just means they're coming and fucking setting that bar up afterwards. But of course, they're giving that credit. And seeing this, I'm just like, fuck, man. Yeah, they're not going to hold on to that very long.
That's crazy.
But God of War achieved, higher than, right now, and like visual fidelity, they got Naughty Dog beat until Last of Us 2 comes out.
Oh yeah. Call of Duty is Call of Duty. I don't really have a lot to say on that.
There's some duty that gets called.
Out of the stuff that from the recap before E3, Tetris Effect, I'm with Seth on that. I think Chris agrees on this as well. It's really kind of neat. I didn't think I'd be interested in a Tetris game. Destiny is off my radar.
Wait, Destiny was shown?
Yes.
What?
So Ghost of Tsushima, you already said pretty much everything I was thinking, but I have to just reiterate the sheer level of eye candy that was shown to us there. I would say quite literally fell in love at that moment, man.
Oh, yeah,
it
me
was
too.
amazing. The visual, I was just I used the word romanticizing earlier, and that's exactly what it was. I was just like in awe the whole time. It was awesome. So
That's why I was using the word fan service, because it just was like exactly what I would want.
God, it's so cool. If you
Even like the first, sorry to cut you off, but like the part where he's first getting into combat and he just goes boom and fucking slashes the dude down and then fucking like gets ready to fight, like just that instant fucking like swipe, and then later like after he's done fighting he like cleans the blade and puts it back, and I was just like, god damn it, dude. It's like just everything like that you'd want from something that's like samurai.
Yeah. And then, if you guys follow the channel, I'm sure you guys know that we're all fans of samurai stuff, but I tend to make a huge point about it all the time. So very happy to see this game, and I want it now. Actually, I want it when they're done with it, but you know what I mean.
Give me the unfinished game right now. It's like a bitch about it. I can't even fucking talk.
Pleasant surprise. Control. We started watching it, and it had all these weird effects going on. The gun was like moving
Yeah,
in
very
pieces,
trippy.
and I was like, this is so weird. And then it was like Remedy. I was like, oh, that makes so much sense.
It's funny because I asked if it was Quantum Break.
Yeah.
I was like, was this Quantum Break as it was happening? And then at the end, I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
That's awesome for these guys. I'm glad they're making a game that is multi-platform.
Yeah,
So-
that's awesome, especially because they had problems with Alan Wake, and that was an exclusive to Xbox and later for PC. And then same thing with Quantum Break.
It's like these guys got these great ideas and they can't get a break, man.
But, well, yeah, they're stuck on a fucking island, and like they're with Alan Wake, the production took too long. It was a great game, Go play it. And Quantum Break also really good. Yeah, they just didn't have. They did the same thing Titanfall did with Titanfall 1. Was fucking just lock themselves into one audience, and I think they're gonna have better success now because they're one of those. They deserve so much fucking credit with how much work they put into their games. It's stupid.
And they definitely have a visual style that's their own, which
Oh, yeah.
they showed. Resident Evil 2 is great for Resident Evil fans, and I'm sure it'll be a game that I will enjoy watching Seth play, but I will not fucking touch this game.
Why? It's nice and dark, and there's things that pop out, and there's a lot of blood and elements of the game that try and psych you out.
Yeah, no, thank you. Fucking
Trova.
Trover in the bathtub, meh.
I wish it was called that. Trova in the bathtub.
We've talked about this multiple times this episode. Kingdom Hearts 3 I'm buying. Death Stranding, it was awesome to see what he was doing with the Decima engine, and just in general what he's doing. It's funny, looking at landscape, it definitely looks like Decima, but the character models look way different. It's crazy. Plus, it does look like a Kojima game for sure.
I will say, the whole time I looked at it, I thought it looked like Metal Gear Solid 5, only with better graphics.
Yeah, and
not visual style, but like everything. Like the guy's movements, the landscape, the visual realism that they go with, like tone, like dirt looks like dirt, the air looks like air, like everything's just kind of on a grayscale, but still looks more
versus
real.
the vibrancy of like Horizon.
Yeah, it looks nothing like Horizon Zero
Yeah,
Dawn.
which is crazy.
Yeah,
So cool. And in typical Hideo fashion, fucking confused still. I mean, I remember watching the trailer for Metal Gear Solid 2, and
it's one of the best trailers ever made.
you think the whole game's gonna be Snake, you think the whole game's gonna be on this damn boat, and that's literally like maybe an hour of the game.
The first hour, yeah.
It's insane. So, Neo 2, awesome. I barely played Neo. I need to
So
get
good.
past the beginning so I can do the co-op and actually play through the whole game. But I am glad they're making another one. I'm glad it was successful. I think there's plenty of room for this this genre to grow. People love these type of games, and I'm glad that they were able to make a unique experience in that genre. So, and Spider-Man is so action packed. It was so cool to see that because like I was expecting some of it, but like actually seeing like how like much action was happening in the trailer and getting to see like him just be the type of Spider-Man that I wanted to see. He's strong, he's fast, you know, he has the sense of humor. It just is Spider-Man realized, and it was really cool to see. So,
Yeah, it was cool. It felt like comic book superhero Spider-Man and not like the cool Spider-Man who's just agile but says a lot of shit. Like, he still felt like powerful. It felt like you were playing like a superhero, not just like a capoeira guy with spider webs.
yeah. Chris.
So let me just start off by saying this is like the age of samurai games, and I am so happy for it. So The Last of Us 2, I haven't played The Last of Us, but watching the trailer for The Last of Us 2, it was, you guys have said it was phenomenal. Just graphically and how the game looked like it played, it blew my mind how amazing it looked and how detailed it was.
What about them
Just-
two girls kissing? What'd that do for you?
Probably the opposite of what it did for everybody else.
Or the same.
Yeah.
Maybe.
A lot of
maybe.
people
I
are
mean,
kind of upset about it.
it was just a thing.
Yeah.
I mean,
Same.
whatever.
Same.
Yeah. It's canon, so get used to it. Sorry. Sorry, not sorry.
I'm not used to it.
Call of Duty is, like Chevy said, Call of Duty. just gonna quickly go through like the things I enjoyed. Ghost of Tsushima, obviously, samurai game, cool, awesome. Resident Evil 2 is the first Resident Evil that I played, so having them remaster it, it looked amazing, and I'm so fucking excited for it. I want to play it right now. I want it to be done now and ready to play.
I think it's coming out pretty soon. Looked pretty done.
It did. And also, I'm getting the vibes that Chris is a Capcom fan.
Yeah. I think Capcom's right under Blizzard for him.
Kingdom Hearts PS Pro, I need one, so I'll have to save up and hopefully have one before they run out of stock.
Yeah.
Death Stranding, Orange Jello Baby. That's all I can say. Like you guys have been saying, it's just Kojima. I don't know what's going on. There's the weird
won't.
shoulder eye thing that just kind of look out. It's like all I could think of was Navi from Link. Hey, listen.
Or in this case, hey, look.
Or hey, shut up. Don't breathe.
Neo 2. Obviously, I'm stoked for it. Samurai games. I love it.
Hell yeah.
I want more weapons. I always want more weapons in games. I love the diversity of weapons.
Yeah, I hope they do add some, like, at the start more than what the first game started with.
Maybe, like, take a note from, like, Ninja Gaiden games where they had, like, a lot of weapons for you to choose from.
Same guys. So,
look at that.
Maybe.
And Spider-Man, it's like everybody's saying, it's the game that we've been waiting for a long time now for Spider-Man to come back to. It's so much excitement for all of these games.
Can you just say how much more money Sony's going to be fucking making? It's insane.
Well, like I said when we watched it, I was like, this is just them, like, making sure all those stragglers who don't have PS4s are going to get a PS4 now. Like, they just want to make sure there's a PS4 in everybody's house. That's what these games are.
3 in my house alone.
Oh, there was 3 in our house, but I just got rid of my old one. Anything else you want to say on that?
No.
Who's grading?
I'll go first this time.
Okay.
I'm going to give it an A minus, which was really kind of tough for me because the presentation itself was really bad. Like there's some slow parts, like the guitar playing and the flute playing, but those are still like neat. But there's so many broken parts in that presentation that you're stupid
fucking waiting, and those people could not keep a conversation going. There's one part where the guy was like, "It should start any minute now." And the guy's like, "Yep, should start any minute." He's like, "Maybe even any second now." He's like, "I think it's coming up." He's like, "Yeah, it should be any minute." I'm like, ooh, you guys really should have had something in between. If you're going to do this weird, like, change the room everybody's sitting in thing from Last of Us to the next game, you should have had some more entertaining people fucking keeping people
It was just a bad call.
Yeah.
I get it. Like, they wanted to, like, be one place for Last of Us and then do the rest of the show somewhere else, but it was bad. So... the redeeming factor, though, is the fucking lineup is absolutely insane and how much of it they showed us.
Yep.
I just, and God, we're going to be called fanboys, but holy crap, they are just killing it year after year after year.
It's just a fact, man.
And it's crazy. And yeah, games were the heavy part of my grade, but A minus.
Yeah, I'm just gonna jump in, and I honestly wanted to give it like an A plus, but I can't because the presentation it was not. There was parts I was literally bored, and that's not what I want from something like that. I'm gonna give it the same as Xbox. I'm gonna give it an A as well. The only reason I'm giving it the same, Xbox was all around a great presentation that was just awesome and fun to watch. They showed off so much shit that's really good, but PlayStation had its exclusives locked in, and they showed what we wanted to see, and just the fucking hype of that was so big that the presentation was shitty, but the games are so good. I would rewatch it just to see those games again, so I have to give it an A as well, but I won't let it beat Xbox because Xbox's presentation. Fuck it, I'm giving it A minus. I think Xbox had a better presentation and great games, so
I agree with that.
I'm just gonna change that right now. Great showing, but A minus, just because the presentation was so lackluster. They really relied on the games, and they brought it, and that's the only reason it gets the A minus.
It's so hard not to judge this one based solely on the games they presented to us because they're just so hypey in almost all of them.
I would have gave it A+ for that. Just the games itself.
But the presentation was interesting, and like you said, the moments of the gaps in between, it was too much to keep it super high for me at that point. So yeah, I'm gonna give it, like you guys did, an A-. Like, it was just so good. It's just, if they could just fine tune those little gaps in between, it would have been perfect.
Yeah, they really should have went the same route as Xbox. Just had one solid like big room with like the big presentation, and like worry less about like having a room that looked like the same room as The Last of Us, just to change that out and have that weird gap in between. Like, I can appreciate what they're trying to do, but they didn't nail it.
They did not nail it. And
Yeah.
they also could have done what they did last year, or what Square Nintendo did, and just kind of was like,
Did a direct
games.
thing. Yeah. A lot of people argue, do we even need E3 anymore? And I would argue that I think we want E3. I don't think we need it.
It's definitely not.
But a lot of people could do that direct thing. But I do really still like the spectacle that Xbox brought.
Microsoft showed you.
That Ubisoft
and
brought.
and Ubisoft showed you
Yeah.
what an E3
It was like an
conference
event.
is.
Yeah. So all A-.
Yep.
Which is great. Really shows just the fucking power of what they showed. They really showed off some fucking huge games.
Without those games,
There's only one game in the presentation aside from Destiny, which I still don't believe was there. So yeah, there's only one game. It was Toaster Boy in the bathtub that I wasn't interested in. The rest of them, I'm buying them all day one.
Also, side note, they showed Dreams in between every trailer. So
Yeah, they're still not showing that game. I feel like it's not real. I feel like it's just
It's
a
a
dream.
dream.
Yeah. In like 10 years, people are gonna be like, "Whatever happened to that fucking Dreams game?" They're like, "That you dreamt that, dog. It wasn't real."
they actually designed it to be a filler for things. So
That was probably my favorite of the fillers, though. People just fucking up on their instruments. It was interesting. Let us know in the comments what you thought about the Sony presentation. What did you think about the games? Let me know what you thought about the presentation, what games stood out to you, and what would you grade it. Next one we're jumping into is Square Enix. They had a small conference. Like Chevy said already, they kind of did like the Nintendo thing and kind of had a really direct presentation where they showed off in greater detail Shadow of the Tomb Raider, kind of explained more about what they've added to combat and stealth, and it was definitely visible in watching the gameplay. I noticed she was like leaning against walls and hiding in bushes and stuff, more so, and up in trees more so than the prior games, which is pretty cool to see. Final Fantasy 14 Stormblood patch 4.3 Monster Hunter crossover. And for everybody who wanted to know if we saw the Final Fantasy crossover into Monster Hunter, we will watch that soon. So definitely stick around for that. Anything you want to add to that I might have missed with the Final Fantasy 14?
just if you are playing Final Fantasy 14, at least from what I've heard, I didn't read this, so take this with a grain of salt. But apparently that's not a temporary crossover event. Apparently that's just going to be added to the game. So.
Yeah. Captain Spirit was showing off some more. I don't give a fuck. But somebody might. Dragon Quest, what is that, 11?
11.
Echoes of an Elusive Age was shown. And Final Fantasy Brave Exvius Dragon Quest 11 event is happening. Babylon's Fall, which is being made by, Platinum Games?
Platinum Games.
Was essentially teased.
Big time.
Thematically. Near Automata Become as God's edition for Xbox One was also advertised again. Octopath Traveler, which is a 2D, 3D, 2D perspective, like pixelated looking game, RPG, I'm assuming. Looks kind of interesting, was shown off. Just Cause 4 was talked about in more detail. Pretty much saying all the crazier shit you're going to be able to do. There's like balloons now you can put on things to lift them and put rockets on it to move them. They just added more ways to fuck with the world. There's storms now and tornadoes that will destroy shit. They can either be advantageous to you or detrimental to you. And yeah, you have more tethers now too, which for me is huge, because like I remember the second one I was like, man, I wish I had more tethers, and then in 3 they're like, here's more tethers. I'm like, dope. And fucking this one, like, what? There's even more. I'm like, awesome. I do even more shit now.
Eventually, it's just going to be Tether Simulator.
Just keep adding. Just keep giving me the tethers. I'll buy the next iteration. I better have 5 times the tethers. And then they showed off very brief live action to gameplay trailer to Bull Cut Man who beats up gangsters in an alleyway, aka the Quiet Man. That was fun for me to watch. And then Kingdom Hearts 3 was shown off. That we actually had a different trailer this time, which I appreciated because I saw the other one like 2 or 3 times, and it was fun. But seeing it multiple times at different conferences, I was like, come on. But this one actually showed off Pirates of the Caribbean, and it was really interesting to see a more realistic look in Kingdom Hearts, because all the different areas you go to kind of changes how Sora and his homies look, and it was cool to see them have a more realistic look in a live action movie. Essentially, it's kind of cool. And yeah, I'll jump into my takeaways because I think I'll have a lot less to say on this than you guys. Shout out to Tomb Raider. I'm glad it's getting another sequel. I don't know if I'm too interested in it, but it looks cool. So hopefully I see more on it that gets me a little more enticed to play it. I'm glad Final Fantasy 14 is getting more stuff to it. It is probably one of the best MMOs out there, in my opinion. Babylon's Fall, I'm excited for the prospect of it, but it didn't show anything. So I'm just like, cool. Octopath Traveler looks cool. I don't know if I'll play it, but I really like the art style to it. Just Cause 4 I'm going to be buying day one. And the Quiet Man's a fucking joke to me. I thought that was really funny. There's so much to that trailer. I was just like, what the fuck is this? And then the gameplay was like really janky and chintzy looking. Yeah, Kingdom Hearts 3 looks cool. Also on presentation, I wish there was more to it. I respect that they just did the straight up thing. I'd prefer them do that than have a bad presentation, but I feel like they definitely could have done something. It felt like somebody said on Twitter that it felt more like oh no, what's the word for it? Kind of like if you like walk in a Sears and there's like an advertisement reel playing on the TVs. That's what it felt like to me. It feels like if you're walking around E3, that would be playing on the TVs at the Square booth, and that's what I felt like too. So, all
right. So yeah, Tomb Raider is not a series I've been playing, but this one, at least from what I've seen from the last games, and this one looks like they've made a lot of improvements in gameplay avenue of it. And plus, it seemed like there was a lot of animations in combat and stuff too, which was really neat. There was a couple weird parts, like how disconnected the guy was when his buddy he was just talking to died. He's just like, "Hey, body over here." So I mean, obviously they're not.
Plus, doesn't she like teleport at one point?
Which? Oh no! You're talking about the double stealth kill. She kills one person, and then the camera cuts to the next person, and she's already killing.
Yeah, but it looks like shit.
Yeah, it's a weird transition.
She's like in the middle of killing that dude. All of a sudden, she's already killing the other guy. Like it just goes. Whoop.
It's really weird to see the level of detail in the character models and the world and stuff like that, and then weird like systematic stuff seems a little bumpy.
They're just not
so
even close to Naughty Dog's caliber.
Wow,
nobody is.
No. Final Fantasy 14, I am a fan, and
Monster Hunter, I am a fan.
And Monster Hunter, I'm a fan of. I'm there's not a whole lot I can really talk about with Final Fantasy 14. They do essentially quarterly updates anyways, which is great for the community, keeps the game going. The Monster Hunter crossover thing I thought was really kind of interesting because I actually read a thing today talking about how Yoshida and I can't remember the guy's name who's in charge of Monster Hunter are actually friends. And they talked about this even before Yoshida took over Final Fantasy 14 to fix it.
Oh, can I add some insight to that? Unless you know.
No, go ahead. I mean, I do know. But.
So, yeah, they both met at a bar, as an arcade bar or whatever, and they were talking because the guy who was from Square, it was during the time they had just released 14 and it was doing really bad, and they're trying to figure out a way to fix it. And the guy from Monster Hunter said that they would help in any way they could to try and save the game. Whether it was like designing monsters for them or like just game design or something like that. And after that, they just decided at some point they would collaborate on something. So this is
the time right now is perfect because everyone knows Monster Hunter now. They went from niche popular to popular.
Yeah, it was just cool to hear that another developer of Monster Hunter has always been popular in Japan, but like back then it was not as popular here as it is now. So it's kind of cool to see. A smaller company of Capcom willing to try and help out fucking someone from like Square Enix.
And yeah, like I said, that was right before Yoshi P was given the reins. So
Yoshi
and
P.
he fixed it. So we already talked about Captain Spirit. Dragon Quest 11 I'm interested in. I'm always interested in Dragon Quest, but I'm never like a hardcore fan of them. I just think they're fun games.
I respect the series, but I had never have interest for them.
They're super like old school, so the grind is real in those games.
And super fucking Akira Toriyama bulkheady.
Oh yeah.
As Chris said, when did Trunks dye his hair? I remember that.
Babylon's Fall. I'm more so happy to see Platinum Games getting to make a game because I know they were in trouble and Nier saved them. And it's also kind of neat to see that Square apparently has faith in them to let them make a second game under their mantle. So
Xbox didn't.
Xbox did not.
Get scale back. Get it at it.
That was part of their falling too. And Nier just
yeah, that couldn't have helped.
yeah. Side note, since Nier Automata is coming out on Xbox here, that hit 3 million copies sold recently. So
Good.
and it's on one console, so
It's fantastic.
PC as well.
One
Sorry.
of the best games of that year.
Octopath Traveler. I kind of want to buy it. I want more games for my Switch anyways, and it's got that old school vibe. Plus, I love the I think is it Valiant Hearts or whatever the art style.
Vandal Hearts.
Vandal
'cause
Hearts.
Valiant Hearts is Ubisoft's indie game about
Yeah.
World War One.
I love the style of it. It's got kind of like the browns and tones and whatnot. And then Kingdom Hearts 3 I'm buying. So
What about the Quiet Man?
I they didn't show enough for me to have an opinion.
What do you think's in the fucking brown bag?
Take out
His lunch? His less half-eaten sandwich in there?
Maybe. I don't
When
know.
you wake
I
up-
don't have any guesses.
When you guys wake up, you're gonna be real hungry. Here's a sandwich. Because that guy's fucking haircut from 1998. Where'd they find that kid? Why'd he beat them up?
Find out later.
To be continued.
And then I already talked about Just Cause. So.
Fucking Baby Driver. Anyway.
Chris.
See, Seth, you think you would have the least to say about this one, but I think I'm going to have the least to say about it because most of this stuff I was just like,
Damn. Chris is coming out fucking heated.
the Monster Hunter crossover event is exciting. I haven't played 14 in a while, but it does make me want to go back and play it again. Just Cause 4 is Just Cause, so that's great. I'm excited for that. And Kingdom Hearts 3 I've already talked about. So
Fair. All right. Chris, grade it.
I'm going to give it just a B. It was
Damn, that's pretty
Nothing.
good.
It was present. It had some games. Nothing was horrible about it. Nothing really, other than the Monster Hunter Final Fantasy 14 crossover event, nothing really was amazing. I mean the Kingdom Hearts 3 was nice to see something new
Mm.
for once, but everything else was just kind of like, okay. I think they really missed the mark on not showing at least something about the Final Fantasy 7 remake.
Oh, that would have
that kind
fucking
of-
been huge.
Yeah, anything.
I told you they weren't going to
anything.
do it.
Yeah, Chevy's right.
Sure, but I mean,
He was a little
would've
shook
just-
there for a little bit, but he was right still. A little bit
would've
there, he's like,
been-
maybe.
it would have been like that. I think that's what it really needed, was something to keep that hype going, because people are just any little tidbit you give us on that, and they'll just eat it alive.
Well, before I was like, why the hell would they have a conference if they're not going to show Final Fantasy VII? And then I watched the conference. I'm like, why the hell did they have the conference?
They got to sell Kingdom Hearts 3.
Yeah.
That's why it's in every it was in every conference. Well, except for like Ubisoft and EA, obviously, but and obviously it's working because it was the most talked about game on Twitter. So
Yeah. I think it's just the fans, though.
probably.
Square fan, and I'm not talking shit 'cause I also like Square Enix. I'm just saying Square Enix fanboys are very similar to and fangirls are very similar to like Blizzard and stuff like that.
Bethesda.
Bethesda.
See, I
yeah.
was like a super hypey Square Enix fan guy. Like any Square Enix game I would play or get. But like these days, it's
Well, when they got in that rut
Yeah, they did a lot of damage there, and they're climbing out of it now. But with this E3, I'm just like, it could have been a little better. Yeah. I'll let you go last. So I'll let you go last. That sounded really like a fucking. I'm giving you this. Fuck, I hate to do it. I'm giving him D plus. The reason I'm giving him fucking D plus is a lot of the stuff they showed was shown at other conferences. The stuff they did show that was original didn't show a whole lot, and it really almost felt like this didn't need to exist, and there was almost zero presentation at all. So there wasn't a whole lot to go with. I was bored the whole time, and not because the stuff they're showing was bad, but because most of it I'd already seen, or most of it didn't seem relevant. Because like Babylon's Fall, I'm glad it's coming out. I like the style, but we didn't see anything about what the game's gonna be like. I know it's a Platinum game, so in my mind I'm like, it's gonna be good, but I don't know. It could like I don't know. So I mean, the name's cool, but that's all I can go off of. The Quiet Man I think looks like garbage. I could be wrong. Just Cause 4, I mean, I'm excited for it, but like, they didn't really show a whole lot on it. Octopath Traveler, I think, is probably the most interesting thing I saw in the whole fucking conference. I looked at that and I was like, wow, that's actually neat looking. Well, most stuff was already shown. So, like, you know, when they showed Nier, I'm like, good. I'm glad it's coming out. They showed Final Fantasy 14. I'm like, I'm glad it's being supported. Fucking Tomb Raider, cool. But, you know, I've seen plenty of that already. Captain fucking Underpants, I don't give a shit about that shit. Kingdom Hearts 3, we'll see. I mean, yes. I mean, the big thing that I wasn't seeing from anyone else, Octopath Traveler, and it looks cool. So, but yeah, D plus, just because the amount of just not existing and not really doing anything at all. I mean, it's kind of like if there's like an entertainer that showed up and they just like laid on the ground and took a nap, and you're staring at them with a stick poking them, like, what are you doing? And it's like. It's like a drunk uncle. Just, uncle, you're supposed to take me to school. And he's like, blah, blah, blah. It's disappointing. We're all disappointed in you, drunk uncle that we don't have. But somebody does.
So I find it funny that Chris had the least to say and is grading it the highest because
he was satisfied. It just wasn't worth talking about.
Because I feel like I had the most positive stuff to say.
Yeah, definitely.
And I'm going to give it a C plus because there was no presentation.
Yeah.
It was just video.
Yeah. Which
is going to be funny when we talk to the next one because, spoiler alert, it'll be a little higher. But,
yeah.
You know, the stuff they did show off, like you said, either it wasn't interesting or shown a million times. I like personally care about 14, but that's not an everyone game as much as I'd like people to be interested in. Well, and keep it alive.
Did it being at E3 do anything? Like, were you like, ooh, shit, I forgot about that game?
That's when they announced the Monster Hunter part. So yeah.
I guess.
Dragon Quest 11, we haven't seen a lot on, so that was nice to actually see like clips from the game.
Yeah.
Babylon's Fall is an announcement. Like I said, I'm glad to see Platinum Games is alive and getting a chance to make something else as well. And then Nier coming to Xbox, which we already knew because of the Xbox conference. But in case someone didn't watch the Xbox conference because maybe they're not a fan, they watched Square and they got to see it. Octopod 2. Tongue literally just stopped. Octopath Traveler does look cool.
The game's fun.
I want to buy it. I don't know if I'm in a hurry to buy it, but I would like to pick that one up. And yeah, Kingdom Hearts 3, like I said, you know, I'm gonna buy that game. So C plus. There's some good, there's some bad. I said this before with my last C rating, but that's kind of what C is. It's in the middle. So
well, C's not even a bad grade. It's just like
it's passing.
Yeah, it passed. So I mean, D's passing. That's why I didn't give it a fucking F. I think it would have been like me spitting on it, and it doesn't deserve that. I was just like, didn't really need to see ya.
You wanted more from them.
I wanted something,
and you didn't get it. Yeah.
So. Because you mentioned Dragon Quest. I forgot that was even there. Like we talked about it a second, but like in that time since then, I forgot that we even talked about it. So, but I mean that's a personal thing. I'm not a huge Dragon Quest fan, and that's not anything against it. It never resonated with me. Let me know what resonated with you. What'd you think of the Square Enix conference? What would you grade it? What stood out? What didn't stand out? What do you think is in the brown paper bag? The quiet boy dropped off at his delivery because he can't hear because he's a baby driver. Let us know in the comments. In our last conference, we'll be talking about was Nintendo Direct. They did what they normally do and just had a presentation in their video, the best quality video we watched because it was already recorded. Our boy Reggie Fils-Aimé hung out with, what did Psycho say? His fucking catcher glove hands or something?
Dude, I don't
He got
know.
them big hands. Some of you might be into that. They showed off a bunch of stuff, though. What the fuck is this?
They showed all those off.
I'm not going through that. I'll just read them without saying anything about them. So yeah, they started off the Nintendo Direct with a game that was very confusing for me as I was watching it the whole time. I was like, "Is this Armored Core? Is that Armored Core? This looks like Armored Core. Is that Armored Core? Is this Armored Core? Why is it a cartoony Armored Core?" It's a game called Daemon X Machina, or it could, well, since it's Machina, it probably is Machina. But I know over there a lot of times they'll say like Cross.
Yeah.
But it is a game coming out for Switch that actually has people from the original dev team that worked on the first Armored Core, which is really interesting because it literally looks like Armored Core. The way the mechs slide on the ground, the way they boost, the way they fly, the aiming, the guns on their back, how they hang off. I mean, it literally, the swords, just the graphics weren't as good. And I was like, what the fuck? It's because people who worked on Armored Core worked on this game. So I'm buying it like 100%. I shouldn't even be talking about it yet. I'm just saying. But I'm buying a Switch. Xenoblade Chronicles 2 Toma, the Golden Compass Country was shown. Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu Eevee Let's Go. There's a really funny cartoon that's like 1 minute long you should watch.
NCH Productions, I think, is the guy.
Yeah.
I gotta give animators the shout out because
Yeah.
they don't get enough attention.
Showed Josh that, and he was cracking up. It's fucking hilarious. They showed that off, showed more of that off, which is cool. Super Mario Party. They announced a new Mario Party. Very cool surprise. Another really cool surprise, even though I think we knew about already. Fire Emblem. Three Houses is coming out for Switch. Fortnite is making its way to Switch, but not with the Save the World segment. It's just
It's
the
out.
Battle Royale. It's out. Apparently, it's already been downloaded like a shitload.
In 24 hours, I think it was downloaded. I can't remember.
I keep wanting to
how
say
many
3 million.
fucking million times. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's 3 million.
Insanity.
Overcooked 2, which, oh yeah, that was that weird like is that like chef game.
Yeah, you share a kitchen. Yeah, you're on a team type of thing. It's chaotic. So.
Yeah. Killer Queen Black. I don't remember what that is.
An indie game.
Well, yeah, but
I mean, it was
visually, I don't remember what it
like
was.
Just pixelated, and it was a blip of like someone going over and hitting someone real quick. It was not a whole presentation.
Hollow Knight.
That is out now, and that was the hand drawn one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
There's a part where like a spider thing ran from the background up to the front. When I saw it, I was like, whoa, shit, that looked really good. And then it said hand drawn. I was like, well, that makes sense. Then they did a splash reel that showed off Starlink, Arena of Valor, Minecraft, Sushi Striker, Mario Rabbids with Donkey Kong stuff, Pix Arc, which is a pixelated arc that I didn't know existed. Just Dance 2019, Dragon Ball Fighters, Splatoon 2, Octo Expansion, Captain Toad, Treasure Tracker, Crash Bandicoot, Insane Trilogy, Ninjala, Carcassonne, FIFA 18, Arc. That's crazy again, FIFA. That kind of makes it feel more like just one of the big boys, one of the consoles. Arc Survival Evolved, Wasteland 2, Director's Cut, Paladins Champions of the Realm, which is good to see them getting some of those free-to-play games. Fallout Shelter, Dark Souls Remastered, SNK Heroines Tag Team Frenzy, Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate. Very excited for that. Wolfenstein 2, The New Colossus. Also really excited to see that they're getting a game like that. The World Ends With You Final Remix. Mega Man 11, which actually looks really cool. Mario Tennis Aces. And then they showed off the big boy game that everybody's excited for, except for Chevy. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, which will have every single fighter from all the Smash Bros. In it. Like all of them. Plus some new guys. And then they went through... Half the presentation was what I just said, and the other half was them going to every single fighter and telling you who they are and what they do.
When I was making that list today for
Who's your daddy and
Nintendo
what does he
one,
do?
20 minutes of announcements, 20 minutes of Smash Bros.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Well, I thought I was just being a smart ass
Nope,
saying
you're
that.
correct.
It felt like it. So takeaways. You go ahead and start, Chevy.
All right. First off, can I just reiterate how excited I am that Nintendo is back and like being serious. Like the amount of games on this list is insane. It's awesome. Damon Cross Machina is hopefully going to be good. It looks really good. I'm going to keep my eyes on it. Probably buy it. Xenoblade Chronicles 2 is another title. I should beat the first one, but I want to pick that up as well. I'm a Pokemon fan, so I will be buying that.
Let's go.
Super
Which
Mario
one?
Party I also want to buy, and and it's funny because like I don't want to buy it because Mario Party, as much as like it seems like they really tried to make it like inventive. Like they at one point they show they're making their own map for one of the mini games with 2 switches.
Mm-hmm.
It's so cool that they always have like these really crazy ideas. Man.
It's a Switch specific game. It's a game you couldn't have outside of the Switch. It's a reason to own a Switch.
For sure. And plus, party games are always a good thing to have. I mean, you bought the Jackbox collection, and that's something we come back to every once in a while and play. So
still have 4 we haven't touched.
Fortnite is great for Fortnite fans, and apparently like 1/3 of fucking gaming on YouTube and Twitch, so or whatever. Sucks for the Sony players. But
Ninja lost $100,000 in 2 days for missing streaming Fortnite and 40,000 potential subs.
Fire Emblem is a must buy.
Fuck yeah.
They didn't even have to show me anything.
Yeah.
They just said Fire Emblem. I was like, yep. So awesome.
On a console? Fuck yeah.
Skip. Hollow Knight I'm interested in. I want to watch some videos on that first. Hopefully it doesn't spoil anything. Through the Splash Reel, Mario and Rabbids already said I want to pick up. I'm excited they're getting Dragon Ball Fighters. It's good to have a fighting game, especially on a mobile platform the way it is. Captain Toad was something I wanted to pick up on the Wii U and I just never did, so now I can. It's awesome. Crash Bandicoot being on a Nintendo is weird, but cool.
Yeah, but it's cool.
Ark running on a Switch blows my fucking mind.
Yeah, it barely runs on fucking everything else.
Yeah, so, but cool. I love that that's going to be accessible. Wasteland 2 is another one I'm surprised to see on there, but also awesome. Dark Souls, I mean, they could put that on everything. So yeah, that's awesome as well. Nobody here is buying Monster Hunter. I mean, it's not like Seth decided to buy a Switch because that game got announced.
That's the selling point.
Wolfenstein, like you said, it's cool to see that come in there as well. The World Ends With You is a game I wanted to buy when it first came out, and I didn't. And then they made a version of it for mobile, and I still didn't buy it. And now it's coming out for Switch, and I feel like it's a good time to buy it. So, Mega Man 11, I'm probably like the least excited for this, which is I'm not a fan of the original Mega Man. I like X.
Yeah, I like the X series more too.
Which is exciting. They're doing a collection for those. I'll be buying that for sure. Mario Tennis Aces, I'm kind of tempted to buy because Mario sports games are just fun usually. So
yeah.
And sorry, you're gonna all hate me. I'm not buying Smash Brothers.
Half our subs just left.
So
Bye, hater. All right, I'll go through this real quick too. Damon Ex Machina is a must buy for me. Knowing that the guys from Armored Core worked on it, some people from it, and it's gonna be on Switch. I'm gonna buy a Switch. It's just another game I'm gonna have to add to that library. Pokemon is the first time I've been interested in Pokemon in a long time. Just because it's on console, it's got a lot of cool functionality, it's got the co-op, all that shit, really cool. Xenoblade Chronicles 2, haven't even played the first one. I heard it's really good. It looks cool visually. This looks even better, so I'm interested. Super Mario Party is probably one of the most exciting things that Nintendo showed off because there hasn't been a Mario Party in a long time. There hasn't been a good Mario Party in a while, and I love Mario Party. I love party games. I love sitting with friends and playing games and doing mini games and shit. They're always really fun. And yeah, the functionality of the Switch is very cool. Fire Emblem, like Sherry says, is a must buy. It's really cool to see that on a console. The other one is like really hard to put down once you get to like playing it. So it'd be really cool to have a game that you don't have to put down. You just take it where the fuck you go. Fortnite, I'm glad to see something competitive on that scale is getting to Switch this early on before Fortnite dies off. That's a big win for Nintendo. That's awesome. There's a lot of people play Fortnite, and a lot of people, unless you're on PS4, who can just go over to the Switch and keep playing. If you're on PS4, though, you got to start over, which kind of sucks. Overcooked 2, I actually thought looked interesting. There's a lot of like really cool little small games they showed off in this conference that I was like, man, Switch has so many games early on. Like, they're really just fucking killing it. Hollow Knight also looked really cool. A lot of stuff in the splash reel looked really cool. I'm not going to go into too many of them, but like, I'm really happy to see a game like Wasteland 2 make it onto a Nintendo console, because I was surprised when that left PC and got on consoles. That's a game that is traditionally a mouse and keyboard game. It's tactical, all that stuff. Really cool to see that on console. Really cool to see that on a Nintendo console. I'm glad they have something that can run something like that. Splatoon 2, still a game I'd like to try out, but I don't want to buy it. So someone let me try it, and then I might go buy it. Rabbids, I already talked about that, but I still really want to play that. Mega Man 11 looks pretty cool. Monster Hunter, like I said, I'm buying the Switch for that. Whether I buy it before or when it comes out, I will have one when that game comes out. Mario Tennis also looks cool, and Smash Bros. I will absolutely buy. That's just so much content and just like fan loyalty, or loyalty to the fans to make a game that big for Smash Bros. Fans, to have all the fighters. No one can be like, well, they don't have blah 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 in this one. You got them all, and there's no excuses. It just seems like it's gonna be a fucking huge game, and it's appropriate to call Ultimate. So really fucking cool. Chris,
Smash.
That's the whole thing.
That was that. That's how you feel about Nintendo?
Smash them,
Smash.
smash the corporate.
So in the beginning, I'm just going to go over briefly the games I enjoyed or were interested in. Daemon X Machina, I was really like Seth. I was like, is this Armored Core? Is this Armored Core? Is this Armored Core? And then when they revealed it wasn't, I felt ripped off. Like I was upset.
I was just at a loss. I was like, wait, what? Why? Why is this? Why is this Armored Core? But it's not called that.
Yeah. Pokemon Let's Go. I'm gonna get the Eevee one because I like Eevee better than anything else.
And a buff Eevee's gonna walk in your house and grab you by your head.
Let's go.
Slam you through a wall and walk out with you. Let's go.
Okay.
I'll send you a link to the video. All right, put it in Discord. Oh,
Uh-oh.
I think we lost Chris.
Chris smashed his way out of the episode.
Welcome back.
Oh, there he is.
Oh, hi.
I like how the lights went out, and all of a sudden he's just looking around when he came back. Like he's been gone for 3 years. I've been in another
And it froze
dimension.
again.
We gotta get them reactions out of him before he disappears.
So,
Okay.
All right, you're back.
Mario Party, I despise. I'm sorry, I hate those games. Good for everybody else who likes them, but you lose friends over those games. Plain and simple. Monster Hunter, awesome. Mega Man, I enjoy, but like you guys said, Mega Man X is one that I prefer to play. And actually, I
X,
love
four.
Mario Tennis games. Like, I love these games, so I'm excited for that. And of course, Smash Bros.
Smash.
Smash.
All right, Chris, I'm gonna let you grade first.
Okay, so as much hype as I had about like the games that were shown, the fact that Smash Brothers took up 20 minutes and like, they just went through every little detail really started to wear on me. As much as hype as it was about the game, so with that, I'm gonna give it a B plus, just because it dragged on for way too long about like the little nuances and changes they made to characters in Smash Bros. I get it's like, you know, you're a big console seller for you at this point, but you could have shown that somewhere else. Just show us the Smash Bros. And the characters, and that would have been great.
Chris is the most giving grader when it comes to talking about negative traits.
yeah.
Because he always leads in with some negative stuff and gives it a high grade. He's like, this wasn't that great. I'm going to give it, I don't know,
hated it. It's a B plus.
like an A minus, but, you know, it could have been better. I'm like, well, fuck.
It had its qualities, it did, but like that little like drag on at the end was starting to wear on me.
It's like he's like, this is how I feel about it, and here's the reasons you could improve.
Now, here's a high-ass grade. Better luck next time. Maybe you'll get the only 2 grades higher than that left. It's a B plus.
Yeah.
I am also going to give it a B plus. I think it was a really good, straight to the point. Aside from the end, dragging on a little bit, straight to the point conference or presentation. I was interested in almost every single thing it showed. And the best thing they could have ever done is they made me want to buy a Switch watching the Nintendo Direct. The whole thing. I was just like, it's time to buy a Switch. I'm ready to buy a Switch now. They showed off a lot of really cool games. Obviously, that won't impact you as much as it did me because you're not a Smash fan, and that was like half the fucking conference. But the other stuff they showed off, I think there was some really cool stuff there, and it was really clean the way they, the visual of like them not streaming it, but just releasing that as a file and being able to watch in HD is part of the presentation. So I mean, like it looked really good. And yeah, I thought it was good. So B plus.
Oh man. Okay. So once again, I think this is really weird because
they ruined E3
because half of it was Smash Bros. Right? Yeah. A game I don't care for, and I'm still giving it an A because the amount of games they did show off was impressive. I was very shocked to see that many games coming out for Switch. Also, the amount of games in that list that I wanted to buy. Yeah. So, even with half of the show being something I just do not care about, I thought they put on a really good show and really showed people it's time to buy a Switch. So, yeah, it's an A.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, B plus is high for me, especially when it comes to Nintendo. I never thought I'd give them a fucking B plus. I thought I'd give them probably like a C or something like that because their prior presentations, before they just start killing with the Switch, have always been a little minimal. They always have like one big announcement, but like the whole thing, I was just like,
games before.
Yeah, this whole thing, I was just like, I almost forgot Nintendo had that period because like right now they're just so confidently releasing awesome shit constantly, and like there's a reason to specifically own a Switch for their specific games. It's not just an optional console that you're gonna buy that one, you're gonna be have access to these
Sony
games.
and Nintendo are doing.
Yeah,
someone else needs to hurry up and do.
Yeah. So. Yeah, I agree. It was a really good conference. I don't think I could give it an A though, obviously, because I gave it B plus. But I mean, that's good. I'm glad that even with a game you're not into, you still appreciate it because I think it was a big surprise. Them and Ubisoft just really. I already knew I was gonna like the PlayStation one, and the Xbox one. I knew it was gonna be good, but I didn't realize it was gonna be that good. And last year they had a great presentation too, so maybe I should just expect that. I think ever since Xbox let go of the competitive nature, they've
just started having fun.
It just feels a lot better because they used to be like really like fucking we're gonna fucking kill him and blah blah blah, and now it's just like, hey, you guys are gamers, we're gamers, you guys love games, we love games, let's fucking talk about it, and it's awesome. But yeah, Nintendo and Ubisoft were like the big surprise for me. So what's your guys' takeaways on the conferences in general? Kind of like what I'm talking about. Like what were your favorites? And what is your favorite? What was the best conference of E3?
Well, I mean, if we're using our grades, it would technically be Devolver for me. But
Well,
otherwise, it was actually Microsoft and Nintendo got, and I think Ubisoft all got the same grade. I think I gave them all A's.
Yeah.
So, and I want to specifically say Microsoft and Ubisoft because they had actual E3 conferences. They were fun to watch, and they put on great shows. I think they knocked it out of the park, and if we're going to declare a winner, I think they kind of tie in that regard. I think they both just really did well. So,
yeah, I graded Microsoft the highest. I gave it an A. Gave Sony an A minus, but I still am more impressed with like Ubisoft and Nintendo because their presentations were better than I thought they're going to be. And when it comes to the presentation itself and the spectacle of E3, like you already said, Xbox and Ubisoft were the best. For the event. Obviously what Sony showed off is like the most value in my opinion, where the best games are at in like the biggest chunk, but the most fun I had for E3 this year was Xbox and Ubisoft for sure. So those are probably my favorite ones, even though I didn't grade some of them as high. Actually, no. I think I gave Ubisoft a fucking A minus, didn't I?
I don't remember. You have it on your phone right there?
I changed it. It was going to be a B plus. Yeah, it's an A
Oh,
minus.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, I
Yeah.
gave them the same as I gave Sony. So, yeah, Ubisoft and Xbox had the best shows. Sony just fucking killed it with the games. I mean, you can't deny it. They're too good. Ghost of Tsushima, probably one of like my games of E3 for sure. Aside from Cyberpunk, and Beyond Good and Evil 2. I mean, I went and bought that game $2, but I went and looked for it because I was like, I'm so excited about this game. I kind of want to know what I'm getting into world-wise. So, yeah. Chris, standouts, and who do you think did the best at E3? Who do you think did the worst?
Sony stands out like really high for me in this one, just because, like you said, the games they're offering for it got me super hyped. The presentation wasn't there, but but the hype for the games that they showcased was just ecstatic every time I saw something new. Nintendo did the same for me though. Like the hypiness of it was so good. Their presentation is what they always do. They're Nintendo. Their family style presentation. It seems like to me, we're like, they'll showcase a game, and he'll come back like, okay, so this was that game, and here it was, and we're going to talk about this game.
There's like a warm and like wholesome feeling to Nintendo's presentations.
Yeah, and it's okay for me. It wears on me after a while. But Microsoft, I think, had a really good presentation. It's hypey.
Yeah, it was like the spectacle that you expect from E3. It was big and just like grandiose, big lights, big screens, big presentations.
Yeah.
Felt like it's for gamers. Just like I said with Ubisoft. Ubisoft felt like the gamers fucking conference.
Yeah.
They were so connected with like what people want and like hearing what people want and giving it to them. So, what was the worst? This is where we lose subs. And what do you think they could do to let's be positive about it? What could they have done or what can they do next year to be better?
So the worst one, obviously, at least for me,
Starts with a B.
Was Bethesda. And honestly, I don't even think it was necessarily the lineup. Even though it wasn't that impressive for me, if they would have just put on a better show, I would have been nicer. But the show was so bad.
Yeah. It was weird.
And it's funny because the main guy, he's done it a few times now. I don't remember him being like I remember him being better.
Bald Boy or Todd Howard?
Not Todd Howard. The guy who comes out right in the beginning.
The bald guy.
Sure, that guy. I was thinking white hair for some reason.
Oh, I don't fucking know that guy. I saw the bald guy from Id.
Oh no, not him. The Bethesda.
Yeah, that guy was the best presenter.
Well, and that's what I'm saying. If I wish he kind of just would have done all the talking almost. I thought Todd Howard coming out like a fucking superstar wrestler was weird.
Todd Howard
stand-up comedy was weird.
Well, he also seemed like he was annoyed there, like he had some money to go count. And he's just like waiting to get off the fucking stage.
The whole thing was just weird and awkward, I think, and that's what killed it for me. To improve in the future, at least, and obviously, no one's gonna agree with me because if you go online, people are just drooling all over Bethesda, for what they did. So obviously, your fan base loves what you did.
Definitely,
I'm not the right guy though. So
yeah,
to improve that, I want a more. If you want to go the fun approach, Ubisoft had fun, and I that was very enjoyable. And obviously, you have more violent approach to your games in a lot of ways. So I mean, you can incorporate that still. I mean, Devolver is absolutely ridiculous with violence, and they had fun too. So I don't know.
Yeah, it's just amazing to see the difference between all the different conferences because some people really fucking tried, and it was awesome, and then some people just didn't try at all. And it doesn't matter about the size or how many people they had there or what games they had to offer. Like we saw small conferences do awesome shit and big conferences do awesome shit, and then vice versa. Big conferences like EA, see small conferences like
Sony.
Bethesda, Sony, Xbox is awesome. But yeah, I agree. Bethesda, in my opinion, is the worst. Square was a very close one, but Square was a lack of presentation. So it's not even that like it was bad. It just wasn't anything. And then the games, there's just like, yeah, we know those are coming out. Like, but there's nothing here like I'm like, oh shit about. So I mean that wasn't even necessarily a negative. It was just a lack of. Whereas Bethesda was more the same of last year with some cool announcements from id, and the presentation was so fucking wonky. And like I said before, it didn't feel like it was planned out. It felt like they're like, okay, we're gonna be showing this off first, and then after that, who's gonna go out there? I don't know, fucking send blah blah out there with the tall dude. Okay, well, who's coming out after that? Well, Todd Howard's over there counting fucking stacks of cash. Fucking, like, he can leave it for a second and go talk to the people who love him so much, while he seems super bored and makes jokes about shit that he doesn't really care about. Like, I don't know. That was just a really bad fucking conference. And like you said, even like games aside, that's not even the biggest part I'm disappointed with. Is the presentation in general. It was a negative to me. It wasn't even like, man, that could have been better. I was just like, that was bad. Like, it was just shitty. So, but I'm excited for new Elder Scrolls. So, but whenever that comes out.
2020.
Yeah, I feel like it's
PlayStation 5 and the fucking Xbox, whatever it's called.
People needed to hear that was being worked on, but at the same time, it's almost false hype because we're not seeing it anytime soon. So
what, like Final Fantasy 7 that everyone was expecting?
Yeah, there was at least issues in that though, like having to essentially move everything over. So, did Chris talk about worst?
Nope.
Not to beat a dead horse, but Bethesda was so cringy for me and just so off-putting. It was just, yeah, it was the worst for me overall. It just felt like hastily thrown together, and like no one really knew what was happening, and it just didn't catch the audience. The tone of it was so back and forth and all over the place. It was just bad. It was so bad.
To be optimistic about it though, because I forgot to do this because I'm getting tired of this point and cranky, so I'm just like, yeah, god damn it. But
crotchety.
The best thing Bethesda could do next year, I mean, really they could do whatever. Their fan base, and I like some of their games, of course, especially the old ones. Morrowind is an amazing game that I love, but I think the presentation goes a long way, and it doesn't have to be a big spectacle, but just clean up a bit, be a little more like calculated. Worry less about just making a lot of noise with music and just expecting the fans to take care of the presentation when you walk out and just expect them to clap for you. Like,
and they did.
Like, come out and be excited. Be like, Bethesda has a fucking long line of games that we've made and genres that we've popularized, and we want to continue that tradition and fucking tell people what you're doing for them and shit, and just have fun and be excited about it, and not just come out and be like, all right, clap. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which seemed like every person did. What was that?
I think they need to go back to the basics of presentation and kind of slowly venture out from there, because this was just so far left field that it just was too much.
Well, I would have graded them higher if they just did what like Square and Nintendo did, and just show what was coming out. And at the end of the video, fucking without anyone saying anything, take Todd Howard going, "We know you guys been wondering about this," but like just show a reel of video games at the end, go to black screen, and then fade in with the fucking music of Elder Scrolls, and it would have been just as good. Because you'd be like, "Oh shit, what is that?" And then it'd come up, and it'd be just exciting. So I don't even think they needed the presentation. I think it was a detriment for me personally. And that's not, Andrew WK, fucking, he's a swell guy. Hopefully he got paid well.
Well, if you guys have stuck around now from
the negative aspect, a great way to end the episode. But overall, fuck it, we'll give one more grade. Grade at E3 as a whole this year.
B minus.
B minus?
Yeah. I actually think I enjoyed last year more.
Last year had, the big thing with this one is the amount of leaks building up
It
to
ruined
it.
it.
Killed a lot of it. And PlayStation telling us or Sony telling us what they were going to show, I appreciate, because I went into it going like, oh fuck, I know what I'm going to see this time. But it would have been cooler to be. There was no surprises. There was like a lot less surprises than I was hoping for this year.
There was still some, because I was
some.
literally expecting zero at this point, because like every fucking 5 minutes someone's like, so Walmart did this, or random fucking news website did this, and I was like, oh god, stop.
Yeah, Bethesda made the jokes about Walmart, and Ubisoft made the jokes about the keychain and shit. That guy was crazy though. The guy in the beginning who's fucking just like, oh, they got a keychain, we got more to show you than that, and like he's just like shaking and sweating. I was like, what the fuck did he do before this started? A couple bumps. So you gave it a B-?
Yeah,
I'm gonna give it a B+, because there was the good conferences were great and the announcements were huge, but some of the conferences were really fucking bad and didn't do anything for me. I could have went the rest of my life without them. But yeah, the leaks and the lack of big surprises. And there still were some, like From Software's game coming out and shit like that. But like I would have really liked some of those really big games to would have like been like a big reveal, big surprise. Like obviously I would have been expecting Death Stranding, but if they would have shown that without telling people, it would have been like presentation wise really cool. I'm still glad I saw it.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to be like, it could have been better. Like, but I would have graded it higher if there was some big, like for instance, one of the greatest E3s in my opinion was when the PS4 and the Xbox One were revealed for the first time. Like I was like freaking the fuck out watching that because the presentation was so competitive. It was like this big event, like, oh fuck, who's gonna outdo who with these consoles no one's ever seen before? It was like a big deal. And so I really get into that like surprise element and presentation of like, this is what we got for you, and then that shit shows up. So it was just B+. It was a good E3 all around, pretty much. So
I think you guys kind of hit it on the head. The surprise factor is really important for something like this. But the presentations, like some of them are really good, and then some of them are really bad. And I think that they kind of felt very disorganized in that sense, because they should have I think they should have done at least like a test run of how this was going to go or something.
They all do test runs the night before.
Then they should do it at least a week before or something.
Some of
Get
them
those
do.
kinks out.
Jeff Keighley's out there a week ahead.
Dude, he's like 6 months ahead.
Well, all year he's planning this and the awards. That's his life.
Despite all that, though, I think I'm gonna give it a devil's advocate of a B. Gonna go in between everything. Was good when it was good, and it was bad when it was bad.
Yeah, I agree. It's very yin and yang this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, so let us know in the comments. Go through all the conferences. Let us know, or the ones you cared about. Let us know what you thought of them. What were the highlights of the whole conferences? And give us grades of those conferences if you want. And then let us know what you thought of all of E3. Do you agree? Was it in the B range? Would you grade it higher, lower? Did you get some big surprises there? Was a game that you were really hoping for shown? And also, like I said, we're going to be watching like some gameplay videos that weren't shown during the conferences. So if there's ones that you'd like us to watch, let us know. What some games we might have missed out on or not heard of that weren't shown at the big presentations, let us know. And that's going to do it for this episode 66 of the Tastecast.
Much longer than I was anticipating it to be.
Way longer. I'm glad we didn't do anything else. Because at first I'm like, we'll do what we've been playing. Should we? And I was like, we're going to watch 3 videos. I'm like, let's just talk. I feel like we're going to be talking a while. Way longer than I thought we were going to talk. But hopefully you guys enjoyed. And like and subscribe if you enjoyed this episode. Make sure to check out our other episodes. Check us out on Tumblr, Twitter, and Facebook at Tasty Loot Gaming. Check out the streams on Twitch at Tasty Senpai, all one word. Hit the notification button to know when I go live. Chris is also on Twitch at Tasty_fruit. Also hit the notification button so you know when he goes live. And my name's Seth.
I'm Chevy.
And I'm Chris.
And we have a Discord. Go there. Talk to us.
And podcasts, all listed below.
Yeah, we got podcasts as well if you want to listen to us. But yeah, that's going to do it. Until the next episode, which will either be this weekend or Tuesday, like always. Have a great weekend, guys, and take it easy.